Chapter 681. You are nocturnal peacebees. Naimyok. Guy's mommy's here. Hyern, who had arrived at Arion Castle, shouted toward her collections. Inside the giant circular prison, Hyern's young collections, dressed in high-quality clothes, stared at her with anxious eyes. Mehaha, where should I put my baby? Hyern, enjoying the looks in their eyes, slowly walked around the prison, pondering where to place peacebees. Being anxious meant they were still alive. Hyern, the hero of Naimyok, the witch of the abyss. She was respected by everyone and had a happy family and lived a normal, joyful life. But that period was too short. A sudden accident. From that accident, Hyern lost both her husband and child at the same time, receiving a tremendous shock and losing her sanity. It would have been better if she could seek revenge, but it was merely an unfortunate accident. Afterward, though she seemed to regain her mind, Hyern developed a strange compulsion to collect. She started gathering young beings. She tried to fill the sense of loss from losing her child by raising other things. At first, she started by raising sprouts or baby animals, but though the emptiness seemed briefly filled, it only grew bigger. And Hyern, as if addicted, began to capture all young beings, regardless of their species, to fill her emptiness. Thus, Hyern captured all young life existing in Naimyok. When she could no longer fill the void and was in agony, she discovered peacebees. Mehaha, this spot looks good for my baby to rest. Hyern laughed pleasantly as she put peacebees in prison. However, Hyern's expression hardened as she turned her back. The void that had been briefly filled instantly expanded again, leaving her empty once more. Kukukuk, let's find a new collection. It was a little better this time. Next time it will be even better. Yes. The endless emptiness again created a giant void and demanded a new sacrifice. And then, Sejun, I am scared. Peacebees, barely conscious, trembled in terror. Because he saw corruption, grotesque with randomly attached facial features, emerge from Hyern's shadow, whisper into her ear, and slowly consume her body. Sejun, please, come and save me quickly. Just as peacebees, consciousness began to blur again. Kukukuk, you saw her. SS up. The corruption licked its lips with its tongue while looking at peacebees. Kaiwat, Sejun over there. Yona pointed toward the massive white castle. And then, Hut, Chairman Park, my front paw is being pulled, meow. Thea also raised his front paw and shouted. Really? As expected, peacebees must be here looking for treasure. Sejun became convinced by their words. Feeling reassured, Sejun. However, no, if it were peacebees hearing, he would have come to find me upon hearing my voice. He soon began to worry again. Thus, Sejun and his party arrived at Arion Castle, worried about peacebees. Goo! What greeted them was 20 black mud humans wearing aprons. Minions of the abyss. More precisely, they were minions created to care for the young beings imprisoned by Hyern. In short, they were workers handling miscellaneous chores. Speaking of minions, Park Sejun also have them. Come forth, shadow minions. Seeing that, Sejun summoned his own shadow minions. Sejun could afford to be relaxed because Iona had confirmed peacebees' life status through magic. He's safe after all, I knew it. Worrying about others really is pointless. Thus, he was even more excited than usual. SRRK. From Sejun's shadow, 200 shadow minions arose, each possessing 5% of Sejun's stats. As Sejun's magic power increased, the number of minions he could summon also greatly expanded. Park Sejun's shadow minions. A shadow minion mimicking the Black Tower's tower farmer, Park Sejun. Stats: Strength 7755, Stamina 7293, Agility 7214, Magic Power 7581. Unique Skill: Son of Darkness Master. The shadow minion will disappear in 3 days. When it disappears, it will report everything it has seen and heard to its master. Their specs could easily destroy level 1 worlds, but guys, hang in there. Hey, you're just getting hit. You should dodge that. Pew hut, Chairman Park's shadows are too weak, meow. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Sejun Nim, should I cast a shield spell? Kyung. Dad's shadows are trying hard. Kilahut Kaying. He, how can the butler's shadows be strong when the butler is a sunfish? Should the great Blackie help out? They were being one-sidedly beaten by the workers of Hiern, a hero from a level 9 world. Why are the guards this strong? Sejun could not think of them as mere workers, even with aprons on. No, he did not want to think so. It hurt his pride less to think they were guards rather than just workers. Thus, the 200 versus 20 battle ended with Sejun's defeat. Still, with 100 of Sejun's shadow minions ganging up, they managed to take down one minion of the abyss. Hehe, still, we took down one, so doesn't that mean we won? While Sejun was engaging in such mental gymnastics. Pew hut, this is revenge for Chairman Park's shadows, meow. Kaiwat. It was so frustrating, power of fire. Kyung. They hit Dad's shadow, Kyungi will punish them. The companions defeated the minions of the abyss. Kilahut Kaying. The great Blackie does not want to get muddy. Thud. Blackie headbutted a minion of the abyss, canceling their summoning. Now let's go find Peacebees. As Sejun and his companions prepared to enter the castle after defeating the minions of the abyss. How dare you trespass into my castle, Hiern's castle? Who are you? Hiern, having sensed something wrong with her minions, appeared. And then, Mehaha, such cute collections. She looked at Sejun and his companions with greedy eyes. However, you and you, the ugly ones, get lost. What? Meow. Hiern pointed coldly at Sejun and Theo. There was no greed in her eyes when she looked at them. Sejun being officially ugly and not looking young on the outside, and Theo was considered ugly by cat standards. He was an ugly cat. It was no wonder Theo got rejected after confessing in Grainier. However, you're calling me ugly. Hawk, Chairman Park may be ugly, but not me, meow. The two could not accept it. But there was someone even angrier. How dare you call my Theonym ugly? Kaiwo. Goo. Yona, extremely furious, began gathering her magic power. The fury of a wizard connected to 8 streams of magic power. One of the 9 streams of magic had vanished, and the grand magic stream that Sejun had cultivated could not be handled by anyone. Being connected to 8 streams of magic power meant she had reached the pinnacle among current wizards. Power of the dimension. Yona cast her ultimate magic. Parallel world. A magic that temporarily traps the opponent and herself in the same timeline, but a different space. The reason she used such a spell was power of meteors, meteor shower. Boom. To beat Hiern properly. Until now, she had restrained herself because she was worried about Sejun getting hurt, and to maintain her image in front of Theo. Huke, abyss barrier, abyss cloud, abyss arrow. Hiern repeatedly used skills to block Yona's attacks, but power of gravity, black hole. Huke. Meteor shower. Yona skillfully layered her magic so that Hiern could barely endure. How dare you? Do you know how handsome my Theonym is? Yona vented all her anger onto Hiern. While Yona was beating Hiern. Peacebees. Peacebees, where are you, meow? Kyung. Where is Peacebees? Kaying. Peacebees Hyung. Sejun and his companions searched for Peacebees. Kyungi and Blackie tried to find him by smell, but the ventilation system inside the prison was so good that they could not catch the scent. What is all this? Guys, come out. Sejun used Theo's dragon claws to cut the locks and release the young beings trapped in the prison while looking for Peacebees. However, I won't go out. I'll stay here. Bang. Even when Sejun opened the prison doors, some children refused to come out and close the doors again. They were the catfolk children, residents of Nyamiok. In truth, Nyamiok had suffered a catastrophic disaster and was nearly annihilated. And these children had entered Hyern's territory voluntarily, to survive. The anxious looks the children in the prison had given Hyern earlier were not out of fear of her, but out of fear that they might be kicked out of this place. "Oh, okay, then stay here." Sejun, feeling oddly like he had become the bad guy, continued to search for Peacebees. Peacebees. At that moment, are you looking for a golden bat by any chance? One of the children asked Sejun. Yes, do you know where? Yes, Hyern put him over there earlier. Thank you, here's something in return. Sejun handed the child some roasted and dried sweet potatoes. Kaying. Butler, no, that's only for the great Blackie. Blackie protested vehemently, but... Here, you worked hard too, Blackie, one for you. Kivahit. Chomp. The moment Sejun gave him a piece of the sweet potato, the protests vanished as if by magic. Peacebees. Sejun cautiously approached the prison where Peacebees was trapped and called out to him gently. Seeing Peacebees trembling in shackles reminded Sejun of their first meeting and made his heart ache. Clink. Sejun carefully cut the lock on the prison and opened the door. Then, swish. He carefully wrapped Peacebees in his hands and took him out. Clink. He used Theo's dragon claws to cut the shackles on Peacebees. At that moment, Pippa Sejun Nim. Peacebees regained consciousness. Yes, it's me. Peacebees, are you okay? Beheta, yes. Peacebees forced a laugh as he answered Sejun's question. Trying hard to act cheerful only made Sejun feel even more sorry. Peacebees, you don't have to smile if you're having a hard time. It's okay. Pip, yes. At Sejun's words, Peacebees answered weakly. Though his voice lacked energy, he looked much more at ease. Then, Kyung. Haha, Peacebees, are you okay? Kilahit Kaying. He, Peacebees Hyung, are you okay? Kyungi and Blackie asked about Peacebees' condition. However, as they stuck their heads in clothes, they created a shadow over Peacebees. Pip, I don't like darkness, I'm scared. Tremble. Peacebees began to shake again in fear. His trauma had worsened, and now even darkness had become a trigger for him. Peacebees, darkness is not something to be afraid of, and you actually like the dark. Sejun lifted Peacebees high to remove the shadow and spoke calmly. Pip, I like the dark. Of course. You are nocturnal, Peacebees. TL, insert you are a wizard, Harry meme. It's just that the bad memories are making the dark feel unpleasant. Let's practice getting friendly with the darkness again. I'll help you. Behehe, yes. Reassured by Sejun's words, Peacebees smiled genuinely. And then, whoosh. Peacebees' body began to glow with a black light. SSSSH. Though hidden by the black light, the faint idea left by the corruption that had worsened Peacebees' trauma was also burned away. He is overcoming trauma this easily just because of my words. Sejun was taken aback. He did not realize how important he was to Peacebees. A short while later. Behehe, Sejun Nim, thank you. Thanks to you I awakened the power called Child of Darkness. Peacebees had obtained the power to become up to 10 times stronger within darkness. Sejun, who could awaken a power with just a few words. Park Sejun, let me help you awaken too. Wake up. He thought just in case, and tried speaking to himself. Of course, it did not work. At that moment, Pip, Sejun Nim, there is corruption here. Peacebees suddenly remembered and informed Sejun of the existence of corruption. Corruption where? Pip, inside Hyern's shadow. What? Inside Hyern's shadow. Iona is in danger. Iona is in danger, meow. The moment Sejun and Theo realized Iona's danger. Boom! An explosion sound was heard from outside. Chapter 682. Say, Sejun Nim, you are handsome. Quaying. Hilik. Hyern was being one-sidedly overwhelmed by Iona's magic. In the past, it might have been different, but the current Iona, who ate the peanuts cultivated by Sejun 3 meals a day without fail, could not be handled by a mere hero of a level 9 world. Quaquagwang. Thus Hyern, who was desperately enduring Iona's magic, eventually ran out of magic power. My bobbies, she gradually began to lose consciousness. At that moment, QQ Cook, I finally found a proper host after a long time. I cannot let you die. Gulryan, Gulryan. Corruption crawled out from Hyern's shadow. Ren, you must get the collection. Doesn't that hamster look a lot like your child? Gather strength, you must get your child. Corruption stimulated Hyern's sense of loss and greed, calling Iona a hamster similar to a cat. It made no sense at all, but in Hyern's eyes, Iona and her own child began to overlap. It was corruption's mischief. It is corruption. Kaiwo power of dimension. Iona, discovering corruption belatedly, hurriedly prepared sealing spell, because Iona had no way to annihilate corruption. However, Hawk baby, giant of the abyss, the witch of the abyss is desperately calling for you. Respond to the call. Awaken. Hyern was slightly faster. Hyern gathered all her remaining strength and launched her best possible counterattack, even squeezing out her own life force. Wung. Starting from beneath Hyern's feet, a magic circle began to spread rapidly, expanding its territory. Kaiwo power of magic. Iona stopped the sealing spell and hurriedly tried to restrain Hyern with another spell, but however, the magic circle had already climbed up the boundary of the small parallel world created by Iona, completing the magic circle. Kugagung. As the magic circle was completed, purple mist poured out, gathering to form the shape of a giant. Summoner, your command. Giant of the abyss, please subdue my baby. Hyern spoke in a faint voice, barely audible. Understood. The giant of the abyss, having received Hyern's command, swung a massive fist to subdue Iona. Dimension Wall. Kwang. Iona successfully blocked the giant's attack with magic, but Jjiok. Cracks began to form in the parallel world created by Iona from the shock. It was already in a state where much of its durability had been worn down due to Iona's magic. Meanwhile, the giant of the abyss attacked again. Kaiwo power of gravity black hole. Iona created a black hole in front of herself to absorb the shock energy from the giant's attack, and then white hole. She released the energy absorbed by the black hole back toward the giant of the abyss to counterattack. Kwang. The giant of the abyss was struck on the back of the head and collapsed. However, Changyurang. The parallel world could not withstand the fight between Iona and the giant of the abyss and eventually shattered. And then, Kwang. The remaining shock that the parallel world could not absorb began to damage the real world. Kaiwo power of gravity, decay mini black hole. Worried that Sejun might get caught up, Iona created 10 small black holes to absorb the shock energy, and then white hole. She released the absorbed energy toward Hyern. Quaying. This time, the energy was released from the sky toward the ground, targeting only Hyern intensively. Kaiwo, it was almost a disaster, as Iona was feeling relieved after wrapping up the situation. QQ Cook, not bad. From the midst of the dust-filled explosion, corruption moved Hyern's almost lifeless body like a marionette and walked out. Pudjuk. Movements grotesquely deviating from human anatomy. Kaiwo. Iona became furious seeing a fellow wizard like Hyern being toyed with by corruption, even after losing consciousness. Kaiwo power of magic. Just as Iona was preparing magic again. Iona, are you okay? Meow. Kyung. Iona, sister-in-law, are you okay? Kaying. Sister-in-law, the great Blackie will protect you. Sejun and his companions appeared. And then, Kaiwup Theonim, I got hurt here. Suddenly, Iona stretched out her front paw toward Theo with a tearful face. Kaiwat, do I look weak? It was to show a vulnerable side to Theo. On Yona's front paw, there was a small scratch caused by blocking the attack of the giant of the abyss. Hawk, who did this? Meow. Kaiwat, 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 that one did. Yona pointed at the collapsed giant of the abyss. Kyung. Kyungi will punish whoever bullied sister-in-law. Kyungi will teach him a lesson. Kyungi's destruction fist. The enraged Kyungi suddenly charged and punched the giant of the abyss strongly. Kwang. Even one punch advanced herbalist Park Kyungi has defeated the giant of the abyss. You have gained 250 billion experience points, which is 50% of what advanced herbalist Park Kyungi obtained. Thus, the giant of the abyss, who could not even land a proper hit, resentfully returned to the abyss, and Kaiwapu. Meow. Yona, who had expected a scene of Theo stepping up for her, was disappointed. While Kyungi was taking care of the giant of the abyss. How dare you touch my guys? Sejun shouted at Corruption, his eyes widening fiercely. A golden light glimmered in Sejun's pupils. Ha ha ha, with my gaze Corruption will be finished. A murderous gaze, you could say. Sejun was full of confidence. However, Kuk Park Sejun, are you so arrogant with a primordial power smaller than a speck of dust? It only tickles. Corruption, having recovered much power through Hiern, easily endured Sejun's gaze. Pudjuk Pudjuk. Moving Hiern's body unnaturally, Corruption approached Sejun. Don't come Hup. Sejun focused all his strength into his eyes, bursting blood vessels, doing his utmost. But, Pudjuk Pudjuk. Corruption continued approaching without care. At that moment, Hawk Chairman Park, that guy is the culprit who hurt Yona. Meow. I will help. Meow. Grabbing onto the back of Sejun's head, Theo. Meow, money burned brightly. Meow. Payat. An angry Theo pressed Sejun's temples with his front paws and burned money. Originally, Theo intended to step on Sejun's rotten face once to reduce money waste, then attack Corruption, but Payat. The light passed through Sejun's temples, strengthening the golden primordial power in Sejun's pupils. Meow. Sejun and Theo were both surprised. Chiaka. Corruption, seeing small flames igniting on its body, was also startled. Though they did not know the full principle, they instinctively understood. Heh, Theo's power has strengthened the primordial power I possess. Puhu Hut. My power was transferred to the great hybrid Chairman Park. Meow. It is a combined attack of Chairman Park and me, Vice Chairman Theo. Meow. Such honor. Meow. Theo's power was transmitted through Sejun's temples to his eyes, strengthening the primordial power. Vice Chairman Theo burned more money. Puhu Hut. Great hybrid Chairman Park, just trust me. Meow. I will burn it all for you. Meow. Thus, the combined attack of Sejun and Theo, completed by chance, attacked Corruption and Woosh. How dare you? To think that I would be defeated by the insignificant Park Sejun from a level 1 world. Corruption, burning in flames, roared in anger. Pass you. And turned into ashes, disappearing. Hut. Now I am Park Sejun of level 2 world. Sejun boasted in the direction where the ashes flew. Meow, Chairman Park's face has rotted. Meow. Theo flipped from the back of Sejun to the front, enthusiastically stepped on Sejun's face. Because he had just burned all of Sejun's money, Theo's front paws did not shine anymore. It was truly like pouring water into a bottomless pit. It seemed everything was resolved, but another problem arose. Kyungi and Blackie, unlike Theo, did not step on Sejun's face. They were unusually quiet. Kyungi will also do a combined attack with Dad. Where should Kyungi combine? Kitahit. The great Blackie must also combine with the butler and lend power. He. No, they were only quiet outwardly. Inside their heads they were busy scheming. And then, Kyung. Dad, do a combined attack with Kyungi too. Jalsek. Kyungi clung to Sejun's back like a piggyback. Kilahit Kaying. Butler, the great Blackie will lend you power, take my power. Blackie also shouted, while sticking his butt to Sejun's hand. Moreover, Jog. Pip pip, Sejun Nim, I want to do a combined attack too. Even Peacebees climbed up on top of Sejun's hat. Kyung Kyung. Kyungi is first, follow the order. Pip pip, even if it's Kyungi Hyungnam, I cannot yield this time. I can't hold back on a combined attack with Sejun Nim. Grrr Kaying Kaying. Grrr, the Great Blackie is angry, Butler. You must make a combined attack with the Great Blackie first. Pew Hu Hut. I will tell you how I performed a combined attack with the Great Chairman Park, meow. It seemed things would be noisy for a while because of the combined attacks. Guys, calm down. Let's think about how we can make an awesome combined attack. Sejun, only after promising to create a cool combined attack, was finally freed from the tantrums of the whiny bunch. Pew Hu Hut. Chairman Park, then let us start by nomming the combined attack with me, Vice Chairman Theo, meow. Wait, there's something I need to do first. Pew Hu Hut understood, meow. Sejun, with Theo hanging from his knee, who wanted to name the combined attack. Is she alive? He brought his finger under the nose of the collapsed Hyern. Though it seemed like it could break any moment, fortunately, a faint breath with warmth could be felt on his finger. Phew! That's a relief. Sejun, feeling relieved, took out a leather pouch from his chest pocket and opened it. Inside, there were plenty of green beads. More precisely, green life orbs imbued with the massive life force of the Green Tower. They were obtained by Brachio, Ophelia, and Theo. Thanks to continuous collection, there were about 150 of them. Thinking of how she kidnapped Peacebees and called me and Theo ugly, I do not want to save her, but we promised to get along. Esog. Remembering the promise made in the castle, Sejun put a green life orb into Hyern's mouth. Before leaving the castle, Mister, I won't take this, so could you please get along with my mom? My mom is lonely. The child who revealed Peacebees' location offered Sejun the piece of roasted and dried sweet potato back while making the request. Gulp. Swallowing his saliva. If you call me Hyung instead of Mister, I'll consider it. Hyung. All right, I will get along with your mom so you can eat that. Sejun agreed to the child's request. He noticed that the other children also looked relieved at his answer. So he decided to save Hyern. He had to keep his promise and didn't want to make the children sad. Srrk. As soon as the green life orb entered Hyern's mouth, it turned into melted and was absorbed into her body, but there was no reaction. Is one not enough? While one was more than enough for Sejun, it seemed insufficient for Hyern, a hero of a level 9 world. Ah, this is expensive. With trembling hands, Sejun put another green life orb into Hyern's mouth, and another, continuing until a reaction appeared. K-Gug. As if to console Sejun's heart, Theo stamped Hyern's hand with the stamp. When Sejun had fed about 15 green life orbs to Hyern. Mio. Hyern opened her eyes. Oh, you are awake, are you okay? As Sejun brought his face close to ask. Meow, so ugly, meow. Seeing Sejun's face, Hyern screamed and fainted again. Should I kill her? A slight murderous intent rose in Sejun's heart, but the kids are watching, hold it in, Park Sejun. The children, who had come out of the prison at some point, were hiding behind the wall, watching. All right, kids, shall we eat something delicious together? Sejun called out to the children and started cooking. A little while later. Once the cooking was done. Kids, the food looks delicious, right? Anyone who wants to eat this dish must say, Sejun Nim, you are handsome. Gulp. Sejun Nim, you are handsome, can I eat now? Haha, of course, eat as much as you like. Sejun Nim, you are handsome. Sejun Nim, you are handsome. Sejun made the cat people's children lie by using delicious food as a hostage. Chapter 683. Sai, how can you protect the house like this? Naimyuk. What should I call it? Sejun was seriously contemplating the name of his and Theo's combined attack. How about Sejun Beam? He shamelessly suggested a name that would highlight only himself to Theo, with a shameless face. Then I don't like it, meow. My presence as Vice Chairman Theo is too weak, meow. Theo strongly opposed it. Normally, Theo would just go along with anything Sejun said, thinking good things are good things, but this time he could not concede. No, he must not concede. This is the glorious combined attack that Chairman Park and I, Vice Chairman Theo, completed together for the first time, meow. Because this name carried too much significance. Really? Then I'll think of another one. As if he had expected Theo's rejection, Sejun coolly began to think of another name. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, great Blackie, looking forward to it. Me too. K. Kurug. Sharaling. The Blackie family sat in front of Sejun, eagerly anticipating what terrible name he would come up with this time. After a while, how about combining Sejun and Theo to make Seo Beam? TL, C from Sejun plus O from Theo. Sejun proposed a new name, and Chairman Park gave me half of his share, meow. I'm so happy, meow. Pew hut, I like it, meow. As long as any of the letters T, H, E, O were included, Theo would have been honored, and he immediately accepted. As the name was decided. Kaying. Butler, I'm disappointed. Why did you come up with a decent name? Your skills have gotten so rusty. Are you not taking this seriously? That's right. K. Kurug. Sharaling. The Blackie barked vehemently, and the Blackie family protested fiercely, saying the name was too ordinary. Mumu. Pipu. Bibe. Hee. Yaliao. In particular, Mubelchil, Mukbupal, Bisugu, Siptiaku, and Kabolto protested fiercely, and they were justified in doing so. However, then when I name the combined attack with Blackie, I should show my real skills, properly. Kaying. No, Butler, keep naming it like this. Who said our Butler can't name things well? But just a moment ago. K. Kurug. Sharaling. Great Blackie, why are you suddenly acting differently? At Sejun's remark, Blackie immediately changed his attitude 180 degrees and scolded his subordinates. Thus, the name of Sejun and Theo's combined technique was decided as Seo Beam. The effect of talent, Namer, has been activated. The name Seo Beam has been imbued with special effects. Seo Beam's attack power has increased by 5%. Using Seo Beam reduces tower coin consumption by 3%. Defeating an enemy with Seo Beam grants 100 billion tower coins. The effects of the Namer talent activated, granting special powers to Seo Beam. Oh, Vice Chairman Theo, we'll get money if we defeat corruption with this technique. Pew hut, it's all thanks to me, meow. No, it's not, I'm the one who named it. Pew hut, without me, Vice Chairman Theo, the combined skill wouldn't have even existed, meow. While Sejun and Theo bickered over who deserved the credit. Meow. Hyern regained consciousness. Everyone, mom's awake. One of the children guarding Hyern excitedly informed the other children who had been playing nearby. Mom, are you okay now? Mom, are you all right? The children ran over and surrounded Hyern, chattering excitedly. Mehata, mom's okay, meow. Hyern smiled brightly at the children's worried words and gazes. At the same time, her heart swelled with a tingling happiness. The feeling of loss now only occupied a very small corner of Hyern's heart. Why am I feeling like this? While Hyern was examining her awkward feelings. You're awake, how's your body? Sejun approached Hyern with Theo hanging from his knee and asked. Then, the ugly man is approaching Mom. Mom fainted earlier because of the ugly man. Ugly man, don't come close. Ugly man, no approaching. The cat children blocked Sejun, standing in front of Hyern. Now that Hyern was awake, they became quite aggressive. Earlier you all said I was handsome. You know you'll be punished if you lie. Sejun, who had made them lie in the first place, tried to scare the children. However, HMPH, Mom said it's okay to tell lies when you need to get something important. That's right, what was it? Pana white lie. Exactly, this was a white lie. Pana told a white lie. Since we told a white lie, we won't be punished. The children scoffed at him. These little punks changing their words so easily. Sejun was completely played by the children. And they're calling it a white lie. Is this what they call good intentions? The fact that they labeled it a white lie hurt Sejun even more. No, still a lie is a lie, Kyungi. Of course, Sejun did not back down so easily. Kyung. Dad, did you call Kyungi? Kyungi, who had been nearby sniffing herbs, came running at Sejun's call. He would not explain why he called Kyungi instead of dealing with it himself, because it was too sad. Hint: the catfolk children came from a level 9 world. Kyungi, these kids lied to Dad. What kind of person did Dad say liars are? Sejun reported the children to Kyungi, and Kyung. Bad people, if you lie you must be punished. Kyungi took out the thunderbolt staff and set out to deliver justice. Pug. Kyungi approached the children, slapping the thunder stick against his palm. Rumble. Dark clouds gathered in the sky, adding to the sense of dread. Meijio. We're sorry. We won't lie anymore. The children cried for forgiveness and quickly hid behind Hyern. Hoo, justice always prevails. Sejun smiled victoriously as he watched the children apologize. You're teaching them bad stuff, teaching them about white lies. He scolded Hyern. Mehaha, lies are essential for survival, meow. Hyern answered brightly with a smile at Sejun's words. Her face showed no sadness, but her voice carried a pain she could not completely hide, like a thorn poking through. Sejun could faintly sense that Hyern's life had not been easy. Here, eat this. Feeling sorry, Sejun handed Hyern some corn potato soup. All right, shall we go treasure hunting? Sejun left with the group and the children, because many complicated emotions were crossing Hyern's face. He thought she needed some time alone. Hut sounds great, meow. Kaiwat, I'm looking forward to it. Kyung. Kaying. His companions naturally loved Sejun's suggestion, and I want to. Let's go. Pana wants to do it too. I raised both hands. The children, who had been locked up in prison, were so happy just running around outside that they eagerly followed Sejun. As Sejun led the group and the children away, Hyern was left alone. After taking a few spoonfuls of the soup Sejun had given her, mehuhu. She began crying heavily. The warm soup soothed the turbulent emotions in Hyern's heart. Thanks to it, the guilt of standing by while Naemyok was destroyed as a hero, the self-loathing for treating children as collectibles, and other feelings that had sunk deep into her heart rose to the surface. After crying for a while, Hyern. Mehaha, the food was a little bland, so I cried because there was no salt, meow. Feeling embarrassed even though no one was around, she mumbled excuses while blaming Sejun's cooking. Then she scooped up the soup, now mixed with her tears, and ate it deliciously. The soup had become salty from her tears, but Hyern's heart had cleared up. Creator God's Temple. Shah. It's done. The Creator God had completed 5 new pictures using the beads created during the process of Emmila, making the Great Growth Elixir, with the tears of the incomplete Creator God. The Creator God examined the pictures. In the first picture, the next Creator God was in his room, clutching his head with his small hands, struggling in front of a single sheet of paper. In the second picture, the next Creator God was writing something earnestly on the paper, and from his shadow, a red snake of corruption quietly slithered out. In the third, corruption was whispering something into the next Creator God's ear, and in the fourth, he was shown agonizing while holding the paper he had written. In the final picture, the next Creator God ultimately succumbed to corruption's words and hid the paper between the cracks in a wall. Is it here? The Creator God came out of the temple, found a place similar to the scene in the picture, and examined the gaps in the bricks. A moment later, Jug, the creator god, was able to find the paper wedged between the bricks. Jug, when he unfolded the paper, Creator God Nim, I am sorry. Actually, I was the one who broke the plate in the kitchen. I didn't do it on purpose. It was a letter addressed to the Creator God. It was then the Creator God could tell when the letter had been written. A plate is missing. One day, a plate had disappeared from the kitchen. Did the next Creator God break it? At that time, feeling that something was becoming strained between himself and the next Creator God, the Creator God had decided not to say anything to avoid worsening their relationship. He had simply and quietly replaced the missing plate. So he was writing a letter of apology. Perhaps the next Creator God's fall into destruction was not entirely his own fault. Maybe it was because he, too, had handled things poorly. While the Creator God was lost deep in thought, Shaharek, the pictures began to change. In the changed pictures, the next Creator God's letter of apology was delivered to the Creator God, who scolded the next Creator God so fiercely that it brought him to tears. Then the two of them made a new plate together. At first, their faces were awkward, but soon they were full of smiles. At the same time, a pure heart separated from destruction's heart, hid itself deep in the land of destruction, and began to tremble. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, it's this way, meow. Theo pointed with his front paw at the enormous pit created by the battle between Yona and Hiern. The treasure was originally buried deep beneath Orion Castle, and they were supposed to find a secret passageway to descend. However, thanks to the hole created by Yona, that was no longer necessary. Everyone, let's go. Sejun, his companions, and the children jumped into the pit. After about 5 minutes of free fall, Sejun spotted an artificially constructed wall. Floating. Kyungi also noticed the same thing and used telekinesis to stop the group. Then approaching the wall, open the way. Rumble. Sejun used the talent, Transcendent Rock Mage, to create a hole in the wall. Beyond the wall, the room was packed full of dazzling treasures. It looked to be worth about 500 trillion. Money. Pew Hut, plenty of money to burn, meow. Sejun and Theo were looking at the same thing but thinking different thoughts. Everyone quickly gathered up, while Sejun and his companions gathered the treasures. Yap. Mew, it's heavy. The children also diligently helped move the treasure. Sejun had promised them he would make something delicious if they helped. Mehaha, if it's heavy, just carry a little like Pana. Pana, proudly speaking, carried a small gold coin and placed it in Sejun's void storage. Pana, if you do that, you'll only get a little bit of the food ugly uncle makes. Meow, what do you mean? That black dog and his subordinates are watching us with eagle eyes. How much we're moving. Mio, really? No way, Mio. Surprised by her friend's words, Pana hurriedly started working hard. He's so sleepy. Watching the children, Blackie struggled to keep his drooping eyes open. A few hours later, Keikirorong. Blackie eventually lost to sleep. Sai, how can you protect the house like this? Sejun, after collecting all the treasure, said this as he placed the sleeping Blackie into his sling bag. Then, everyone, let's go. He went back up to the surface with his companions and the children. When they came back to the surface, Hiern, what are you doing? Sejun spotted Hiern moving the animals and plants that had been imprisoned in Orion Castle's prison to the outside. It was her attempt to correct her wrongs, even if it was late. At that moment, sniff sniff, Kyungi found the herb smell. Among the plants Hiern had transplanted, Kyungi hurriedly dug one up. Kyung, Dad, take it, and brought it to Sejun. Baby Hishu Wu. It was one of the 5 elixirs needed for Sejun to become an SS rank tower farmer. Only one left now. Sejun laughed while holding the baby he Shu Wu in his hand. Now, if he could just find the baby ice extreme herb, all preparations to become an SS-rank tower farmer would be complete. Chapter 684. Vice Chairman Theo is banned from my knees for 1 hour. Hyun kids, take care. Your handsome Hyung is leaving. Puhu Hut. Full-time employees do not play around and work hard, meow. Kaiwat Kaiwat Kaiwat. Hyun, next time we meet, let's have a discussion about magic. Kueha Kuang. Hehe, next time it would be nice to go on another treasure hunt. Kilahit Kang. Hee, you are now subordinates of the Great Blackie, so if anyone bullies you, mention Great Blackie's name. After collecting the treasures hidden in Orion Castle and the baby he Shu Wu, Sejun and his group bid farewell to Hyun and the children and crossed through the dimensional gate connected to the 99th floor of the Black Tower. And then, Mom, can I help? Me. I will help. Mom, Pana is strong. Hyun, with the children's help, cleaned the prison thoroughly and started building a large house outside the castle to live together. We've arrived. When Sejun and his group arrived at the Black Tower, Moo, you came back together. Kyuwang. Thank goodness. In front of the dimensional gate, the Minotaur King, the Black Minotaurs, Pinkfur, Toryong, Sweetie, and the poisonous bees, along with the mushroom ants, were waiting for them. The news of Peacebee's disappearance had spread throughout the 99th floor of the tower, and everyone had been worrying and praying for Peacebee's safe return in front of the dimensional gate. Biaha, I'm sorry for making you worry, and thank you. Peacebees appeared on Sejun's left shoulder and expressed gratitude to everyone. Everyone, thank you for worrying about Peacebees. Since we are gathered, let us have a meal together. Sejun expressed his thanks to everyone who had worried about Peacebees by treating them to a meal. For the Minotaur King and the Black Minotaurs, he prepared porridge made from fresh grass, and for Pinkfur, he made choco pies. Abundance. For Toryong, he provided top-grade soil. Were. Good, happy. Sweetie, who only eats honey and pollen, was satisfied with receiving pats from Sejun, and the poisonous bees were content because Sweetie was happy. I will also go to Tartarus and bring back information helpful to Sejun. While receiving Sejun's pats, Sweetie recalled the information she had heard from Hell and smiled gently. The information Sweetie obtained was about a prisoner locked in Tartarus. Inside Tartarus, there is a section that exclusively holds major criminals, and in that place, a prisoner, Rascal, the god of thieves, was imprisoned after stealing an incredible treasure. Thanks to this, Hell was about to lose 50 billion divine power as payment for revealing this secret, but hey, take as much as you want if you can. I only deal in Sejun Company welfare points anyway. Hell had nothing to lose. Thus, she revealed the heavenly secrets to Sweetie without worry. Considering that previously, when Hell had revealed heavenly secrets to Toryong, she had 10 billion seized. One could gauge how important the information Sweetie obtained was. Kegwek. The mushroom ants, who ate the mushrooms growing on each other's backs, had nothing special prepared for them, but they were joyful just being part of the atmosphere together with everyone. Thus, while having their meal, the night deepened, and when the residents of the Black Tower's 99th floor were about to return to their own places, the tower's administrator says that the blue moon will begin at midnight. Aileen informed them that tomorrow would be the day of the blue moon. It is already blue moon time. Aileen, thank you for telling me. Everyone, wait a moment. Sejun hurriedly called back the group who was about to leave. A lot of hands would be needed during the blue moon. You all take care of the cornfield. You all the potato field. Sejun assigned the farm members to various fields and gave them the task to harvest blue moon crops once they appeared. This is your new home now. He planted the baby he Shu Wu into the land, where baby elixirs were already planted. And then, he laid down the magical blueberries carefully on the ground to absorb the energy of the blue moon properly. The blueberries could absorb the blue moon's energy up to 3 times, gaining special effects each time. Though the special effects weren't that significant for Sejun now. Hehe, it will become delicious. The taste would improve. If a lot of elixir, cherry tomato imbued with powerful magic power that Ajax cultivated were gathered, they could produce effects similar to the blue moon. However, since the parent dragons had bought up all the elixir-grade cherry tomatoes for their baby dragons, there were not enough gathered to recreate the blue moon effect. For reference, an S-grade elixir-grade cherry tomato raised magic power by 50, and an SS-grade raised it by 100. After Sejun finished spreading the blueberries, he started gathering carrots, well-ripened SS-grade carrots that he had harvested when a higher grade was produced during carrot harvesting. Once the preparations to greet the blue moon were complete. Sluip. This is nice. Sejun drank the coffee that Kyungi brewed for him and waited for the blue moon to rise. A little later. It has risen. The 23rd blue moon since Sejun entered the tower appeared, casting a blue light over the land. Peepik. Peepik. Peepayak. The moon rabbits Walgang TL, Father Rabbit, Walha TL, Mother Rabbit and Huk Walbach TL, Black Rabbit appeared with a blue moon jump. It was the reason Sejun had prepared the carrots. Peepubio. Peepayak. This time, even Choo Choo and Black Torch joined them. As Luna, the god of moonlight, expanded her influence in the Red Ribbon Kingdom, the number of moon rabbits she could appoint increased, and Choo Choo and Black Torch were also appointed as moon rabbits by Luna. Everyone, it has been a while, except for Walbach. It had only been 3 days since Sejun saw Huk Walbach, as they had visited Earth together. Peepig, Peepig. Sejunim, it has been a while. Please visit the 55th floor of the tower sometime soon. Walgang wanted to show his grandfather's dignity again with Sejun's help, as the kids these days weren't listening again. Peepig, Peepig. Sejun Nim, you don't have to come. It will only make this guy's behavior worse. Walha said, glaring at Walgang. However, I understand, I'll go. Thank you. Sejun and Walgang had already exchanged signals with their eyes, while Sejun was chatting with Walgang and Walha. Peepayak. Is everyone doing well? Peepayak. Hello, uncles. Puhu Hut, Walbach, we see each other often, meow. Black Torch, have you been well, meow. It's Uncle Theo, meow. Kyung Kyung. Black Torch, nice to meet you. Kyungi is your little uncle. Pip Pip, Black Torch, should Uncle Peaceby sing for you? Kilahit Kaying. Hee hee, Black Torch, should great Blackie uncle play with you? Theo, Kyungi, Peacebees, and the Blackie family had conversations with Huk Walbach and Black Torch, the father and son. And then, Kaiwo Choo Choo, why is your magic skill the same as the last time we met? You have become lazy since I stopped giving you assignments. Choo Choo. Master, I am sorry. Yona was scolding Choo Choo, whom she had not seen for a long time. Sister-in-law fighting. From a distance, Huk Walbach cheered for Yona. If Iona gave assignments, Choo Choo would be very busy. While Sejun and the group were chatting happily with the rabbits. SSS. The crops that absorbed the energy of the blue moon turned blue. Moo. Whitting. Kegwek. The farm members began harvesting the crops imbued with the blue moon's energy. Let us work too. Sejun also harvested the crops in the fields together with his group. After a while, everyone good work. Once the harvest of the crops imbued with the blue moon's energy was finished. Peepik. Peepik. Peepayak. Choo Choo. Peepayak. The rabbits gathered the SS-grade carrots that Sejun had given them and went down, and the farm members also went off to sleep. And then, Moo. Pink Fur, how about some dawn training? Kyuwang. Sounds good. The Minotaur King and Pink Fur went off to train. Once everyone had left, Sejun also lay down on the bed with his group. Shall we also get some sleep? Isn't it nice sleeping with Dad, Kyungi? Kuehe Kyung. Hehe, it is nice. Hehe, Dad is happy too. Hugging Kyungi tightly. It seemed Sejun loved sleeping with Kyungi even more than Kyungi loved it. Kur. Gorarong. Kurarong. Kurarong. Kekirarong. In the bedroom where everyone had fallen asleep. Two worlds' energies were clamped in Blackie's mouth. And then, Bihiha, today the blue moon rose. That is why the moon rabbits came to play. Peaceby sang a newly made song to cheer on Sejun and his group. Blackie's mental world. Guys, please eat this and forgive them. Pew Hut, try this grilled fish, meow. Our great hybrid Chairman Park grilled it so it is delicious, meow. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. There are also roasted peanuts. Hehe, there is also rice cake dipped in honey. Sejun and his group were helping the Blackie family apologize. We are truly sorry. Sorry. The Blackie family sincerely apologized to the souls with all their hearts. I'll forgive you. I forgive you. While the souls were forgiving the Blackie family. Gururuk. Three manifestations of corruption appeared simultaneously. Since Blackie was purifying two worlds' energies at once, corruption appeared more often and in greater numbers. Hut, it's here. Vice Chairman Theo, combine. It is time for CO Beam. Hut understood, meow. Theo clung onto the back of Sejun's head and merged. Vice Chairman Theo, use only a little money. Hut understood, meow. Here we go, CO Beam. Meow. Sejun and Theo attacked the corruption with their combined attack, CO Beam. Whoosh. The corruptions that were struck by CO Beam burned and disappeared instantly, without even leaving any ominous words behind. You have defeated the enemies with CO Beam. You have obtained 100 billion tower coins. Thanks to the special effect imbued in the names, they earned money. Hehe, we made money. Vice Chairman Theo, how much did you burn? Sejun, who had earned 300 billion tower coins, asked Theo to confirm the total revenue. Hut, I only burned 10 million tower coins, meow. Did I do well, meow? Theo, thinking he had used little money, answered proudly. However, what, that is too much. From now on only burn 10,000 tower coins. Sejun was even more frugal than Theo expected. Meow, at that level there is no joy in burning, meow. What, you burn money for fun? We must save to live well. I refuse, meow. Guarantee the joy of burning, meow. While Sejun and Theo were bickering again. I am jealous. Supergiant Chairman Park, No 3 gazed at Sejun with envy for being able to perform a combined attack with Theo. At that moment, whoosh, Kyung. Dad, look at this. Kyungi can now also burn Dad's money. Kyungi showed his glowing front paws, brightly smiling as he imitated Theo's technique. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, butler. Great Blackie can now burn the butler's money too. Whoosh. Blackie also joined in burning Sejun's money. Instead of his front paws, Blackie's tail was glowing. However, the effects of their burning were different from Theo's. When Kyungi burned Sejun's money, Sejun's magic power and telekinesis power increased. Hey, Park Blackie, why are you burning if you don't even get any benefit? Blackie had no effect at all. Blackie only had the ability to burn money from Sejun's account. Thus, the Park family's three brothers shared the ability to burn Sejun's money amicably. Sigh, I better leave it with Aileen. Sejun sighed and decided to entrust the money in the void storage to Aileen. And then, Kyungi is banned from having snacks for a day. Kyung. Blackie is on a diet meal today. Kaying. He punished Kyungi and Blackie so they would not burn money carelessly again. Vice Chairman Theo is banned from my knees for 1 hour. Theo too. Meow. Great hybrid Chairman Park. Why is Vice Chairman Theo being punished when I did nothing wrong, meow? You should set an example for your younger siblings. That is the fate of being the eldest. Sejun punished the 3 Park brothers and continued apologizing to the souls. A little later. All right. Sejun opened his eyes in the real world. Starting today, things are going to get busy for a while. Meow. Kyung. Kaying. With a determined voice, Sejun spoke as he picked after the Theo couple, Kyungi, and the Blackie family. The fifth dragon meeting, which would be held at the Silver Tower, was only a week away. Chapter 685. Hee hee. Food secretly eaten without the butler knowing is even tastier. Silver Tower, 99th floor. Whoosh. Grow. Ophelia used her skill and sprinkled mugwort seeds. As soon as the seeds touched the soil, creak creak, they began to quickly take root and grow, while the seeds were growing. Hee hee, soon I will be able to eat lots of food made by Sejun. Ophelia happily spent her time, imagining what kind of dishes Sejun would bring to the dragon's meeting. A little later, you have harvested vibrant life mugwort. Your job experience has slightly increased. Hee hee, the one responsible for Sejun's life is none other than me, the great green dragon, Ophelia Iorg. Ophelia proudly harvested the mugwort. Black Tower, 99th floor. Nod. Sejun number 12, thank you for your hard work. Sejun bowed his head to Sejun number 12, who crumbled into powder and expressed his gratitude. It had been 6 days since Sejun began seriously preparing dishes for the dragon's meeting. Sejun number 12's expiration date had ended. Thanks to that, Sejun had to prepare the remaining dishes alone, but it was fine since everything except the main dish was already completed. Originally, a few days ago, he had planned to reinforce his workforce by receiving 3 dragon fruits through hell and sprouting them, but among Sejun's skills, a dragon fruit that had replicated the skills of greenhouse and laying grass, a dragon fruit that had replicated the skills of vitality and maintaining cleanliness, a dragon fruit that had replicated the skills of transplanting and weed pulling. All of them turned out to be duds. So one went off to lay grass in the Black Minotaur's area, another was doing the dishes, and the last one. Where did this one go? It must be somewhere pulling weeds or transplanting trees. Since it was a copy of Sejun, it could not possibly be idle. Thus the kitchen, where Sejun number 12 had disappeared. Vice Chairman Theo, are you ready, meow? Pew Hut, I am ready, meow. I even cleaned my dragon claws, meow. Good, Kyungi, are you ready? Kyung. Kyungi is ready. Kyungi is now a sous chef. Sejun started preparing the main dishes for the dragons, meeting with Theo and Kyungi. The menu consisted of 3 dishes: stir-fried squid, and squid cold soup. Vice Chairman Theo, please chop the vegetables. Pew Hut, got it, meow. Chop. Theo chopped the vegetables that would go into the stir-fried squid. The vegetables were crops imbued with the energy of the blue moon that were harvested yesterday. Kyungi, please make the batter for the frying. Kyung. Understood. Kyungi made the batter for the fried squid. Then I will make the seasoning sauce. Thus, while Sejun, Theo, and Kyungi were cooking hard. Kivihit. When the food is ready, I'll steal it secretly without the butler noticing. Blackie hid behind the kitchen door, looking for a chance to steal the finished dishes. Although the roasted and dried sweet potato was the tastiest. Hee hee, food secretly eaten without the butler knowing is even more delicious. Blackie was enjoying the thrill. While everyone was in the kitchen. Kai-young. Yuta data. Suddenly, Beektang ran into the kitchen like a bolt of lightning. Beektang's goal, of course, was, this time I will succeed. Naturally, Sejun's lap. However, Hug. Theo, who appeared before anyone knew it, blocked Beektang's path and hissed. As Theo became angry, Kai-young. Beektang immediately flopped over and showed his belly. He was quick to give up. As Theo successfully defended Sejun's lap once again. Pio. Hello, Sejun Nim. Yueha, hello, Sejun Nim. Are you cooking? I have not eaten yet. Yueha, just saying. Moihe, hello. Nainyeong Pipokpok Jaikik. Piat, Urin, and Poyo entered the kitchen with the other guards. However, You are shedding fur. After seeing Sejun's stern expression, they hurriedly fled outside. Sejun was a man who took cooking seriously. He was a cooking serious man. A little later, when the main dish was almost ready, "Guys, go catch some fire moths from the void storage for us to eat," Sejun said to the group resting outside and returned into the kitchen. There were no black flame fire moths since he caught them in the morning, but there were plenty of white flame and blue flame fire moths. And since Theo's chopped vegetables, Kyungi's batter, and Sejun's seasoning sauce remained, he was thinking of making a downgraded version of the 3 squid dishes they had just made. Pio Pio. Yes, leave it to us. Yuihe, I will catch a lot. Thus Piat and Yurin headed to the fire moth farm. However, Sejun and Piat overlooked one thing. They did not notice that Poyo, who should have been by Yurin's side, had disappeared. Kilahit Kaying. Hee Poyo, bring that to Great Blackie. Moihe, yes. Under Blackie's command, Poyo was stealing food. Poyo, what are you doing? Of course, he was caught quickly by Sejun. I am following the orders of the Great Blackie Nim. Poyo reported the truth to Sejun. Kaying. Run away. Blackie ran away trying to save himself alone. However, Blackie, if you don't come back now, I'll add 1 more week to your diet. Kaying. No. Unfair butler. Because of the diet, Blackie had no choice but to return. Who told you to order Poyo to steal food, huh? Kaying. And Poyo, just because Blackie tells you to. As Sejun was scolding Blackie and Poyo. Huh? Why is Poyo here alone? Then where is Yurin? Realizing something was wrong, a chill ran down his spine and goosebumps rose. At that moment, Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I feel a pull meow. Theo shouted in a bright voice, raising his front paws and Hazeli. A blessing in disguise. Astuso. Sejun got goosebumps again, but this time they were in a good way. Creek. Pio. Here it is. Wow, there are so many. Piat and Yurin entered the fire moth farm. Pio Pio. Huh, where is Poyo? Flap flap. Only then did Piat realize that Poyo was not by Yurin's side and busily flew around inspecting Yurin's body. Yuihe, I do not know. As Yurin cheerfully answered Piat. Crack. A cracking sound was heard from the center of the farm. Pio. What is that sound? When Piat looked toward the source of the sound, there was a crack on the blade of the Surtur's flame sword, located at the center of the farm. Whoosh. Blue flames were erupting from the cracked area. And then, whoosh. The 5 fire essences around the area also started to go berserk in response. Pio. Yurin Nim. Piat immediately got angry at Yurin. Whenever something bad happened, it was usually Yurin's fault. Sorry. Yurin also immediately apologized, since most bad things usually were his fault. Whoosh. The flames grew stronger and expanded their power, and Piat and Yurin hurriedly ran out of the room. And then, whoosh. The flames tried to follow them out. Slam. Piat quickly closed the door. As the door closed, they saw the fire moths engulfed by the flames absorbing the fire and multiplying rapidly. Even though the door was closed. Sizzle. The flames on the other side of the door began to melt it. Considering that this was a void space where dimensions were separated, it was an extremely serious situation. It meant the flames were so strong that the dimension could not withstand them. At that moment, Hesse, I knew it would be here. Pew Hut, it is all thanks to me, meow. A frivolous but strangely reassuring laughter echoed as Sejun and Theo, clinging to Sejun's knee, appeared. The door is melting. Pew Hut, great hybrid Chairman Park, I feel the pull from beyond the door, meow. I know. Responding to Theo's words, Sejun pulled out a red pipe from his pocket and bit it. It was the Flame Devourer. Poyo, stick closely to Yurin. Moihe, yes. after assigning Poyo to urine. Let's go. Pew hut, let's go meow. Sejun absorbed the flames with the flame devourer and crossed the almost completely melted door, entering the fire moth farm. The fiery energy that the flame devourer could not absorb touched Sejun. Feels refreshing. But it only made Sejun, who held the title, reborn from flames, feel good. Pew hut, Chairman Park, I will absorb it for you, meow meow. Even that fiery energy was diligently absorbed by the loyal Theo using his talent, Energy Absorber. Originally, he could only absorb ordinary energy, but at some point, Theo became able to freely absorb attribute energy as well. Sejun just accepted it. That's just how Theo was. As Sejun went deeper into the farm, the inside was nothing short of a blast furnace. With the overflowing powerful fiery energy, a massive number of ordinary fire moths with red flame wings were born. The ordinary fire moths threw themselves into the red flames to be reborn as white flame fire moths. The white flame fire moths then hurled themselves into the white flames to evolve into blue flame fire moths, and the blue flame fire moths threw themselves into the blue flames to be reborn as black flame fire moths. The Surtur's flame sword had already exhausted all its heat and lay on the ground, and the fire essences were the same. I will have to ask Ramternim to recreate it, using about 10 fire essences this time. That much would be needed to replace Surtur's flame sword. As Sejun was thinking about rebuilding the fire moth farm, Sejun saw the black flame fire moths throwing themselves into the black flames. There was an even higher evolution. Vice Chairman Theo, I am so happy right now. Pew hut, if you listen to me, you will become happy just by staying still, meow. So, great hybrid Chairman Park, from now on, just trust me alone, meow. Theo became full of himself at Sejun's words. Sure. Sejun accepted it lightly because he was in a good mood. Whoosh, whoosh, Park Theo, the lucky legendary merchant of the Black Tower, has defeated the third Calamity Fire Moths of Destruction. You have gained 3,000 experience points, which is 50% of the experience points obtained by Park Theo. The two waited while defeating the fire moths that approached, waiting for the black flame fire moths to finish evolving. After about 10 minutes passed, a fire moth that had finished its evolution very quietly appeared. Pitch black flame fire moth. It was a fire moth the size of a dump truck with pitch black wings that absorbed the surrounding fiery energy and made the surroundings even darker. At that moment, flap, when the pitch black flame fire moth spread its huge pitch black wings, SSSR, the fire moths around it began to die, because all the fiery energy was sucked away by its pitch black wings. Fire that extinguishes fire, that was the power possessed by the pitch black flame fire moth. At the same time, the wings and body of the pitch black flame fire moth, which absorbed the fiery energy, continued to grow larger. Grow a lot. Sejun watched it with satisfaction. However, meow. What meow? Why is the pull getting weaker, meow? As the pitch black flame fire moth grew larger, Theo's sense of pull strangely weakened. The reason was Kaying. Butler, no. If that thing fully grows into an apostle of destruction, you will be in danger, and the fire moths will go extinct. Noticing that something was wrong, Blackie rushed over and warned him. The reason calamities evolve is ultimately to become apostles of destruction. The pitch-black flame fire moth was also growing by absorbing fiery energy and was in the process of becoming an apostle of destruction. Once it fully became one, Sejun would be endangered, and the fire moths, having served their purpose, would go extinct. That was why Theo's pull was weakening. Meow. As soon as Theo realized why his pull was weakening, gulp, he voluntarily ate the black bean set that he hated. And then, burn brightly, meow. He swung his front paw while burning money at full power, and bam! Theo defeated the pitch-black flame fire moth using the Teku Park Manbo Meteor Tribe leader skill. In return, Sejun's account balance returned to 0. It was quite cheap for the cost of defeating an apostle of destruction. Park Theo, the lucky legendary merchant of the Black Tower, has killed an apostle of destruction, evolving pitch-black flame fire moth. You have gained 1 trillion experience points, which is 50% of the experience points acquired by Park Theo. Through the effect of title, owner of the Calamity Farm, you have gained an additional 2 trillion experience points. You have leveled up. Thus, the pitch-black flame fire moth, born from Uran's misfortune, ended its brief tour of the world and was reborn into Sejun's level-up experience points and delicious squid dishes. And then, Kaiyong, Vice Chairman Theo, received a punishment banning him from approaching Sejun Nim's lap for 1 hour. This is it. Beektang, who gave up easily but also quickly gave up on giving up, began to dream of a plot to seize Sejun's lap. Whether it would succeed or not was unknown. Sejun's lap was something Beektang wanted even more because he couldn't have it. Chapter 686, GRRRR. If you give Great Blackie a diet menu, Great Blackie will burn Butler's money. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Crunch. Well, Sejun exclaimed after eating deep-fried squid made with the black flame fire moth. Since it was coated in the perfect batter created by Kyungi, the gourmet expert, fried at the exact temperature for the precise time, and dipped in seasoning soy sauce Sejun made himself, it was bound to be delicious. Chomp chomp. Crunch slurp. Kyung. Heavy head. Kaiyong Nainyeong Pipokpok Jajajikshak. Next to Sejun, Kyungi, Uran, and the guardian beasts were all frantically eating stir-fried squid, fried squid, and squid cold soup, while everyone was aggressively eating the black flame fire moth dishes. Pew Hut. As expected, the grilled fish made by the great hybrid Chairman Park is the best. Meow. Kaiwat Kaiwat Kaiwat. The stir-fried peanuts made by Sejunim himself are delicious too. Pio Pio. That's right, Sejunim's stir-fried peanuts are the best. Theo, Iona, and Piat, who had their favorite dishes, were leisurely enjoying their meal. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Butler's roasted and dried sweet potatoes are the best. Chomp chomp chomp. Though there were some who weren't into it. Once the meal ended. Slurp. By the way, why did you come up so early? Sejun asked Piat while drinking the coffee Kyungi had brewed for him. Originally, the plan was to let the guardian beasts go on a tower tour for about a month and return afterward. Pio. The truth is, Piat explained the reason they came up. What? Everyone is getting ready to come up to the 99th floor of the tower for the birthday party. Piat delivered a piece of news Sejun hadn't even considered. Last year, the rabbits, wolves, and other black minotaurs who received birthdays from Sejun had spread the dates around. As a result, all the residents of the Black Tower now had their birthdays unified as March 23rd. And the Black Tower's residents wanted to celebrate with Sejun, the original source of the birthday. Pio Pio. Yes, so I came to suggest that we should make invitations and distribute them like last time to avoid congestion. Pew Hut, excellent idea, meow, as expected of my right front paw, meow. Looks like I can make a lot of money, meow. Theo, pleased with Piat's suggestion, gently patted Piat on the head with a satisfied smile. Pew Hut. Piat smiled proudly as well. However, I was planning to take it easy starting tomorrow. Sejun couldn't bring himself to smile. How many days are left until the birthday? Today is March 8th, so. Sejun counted the days. About 2 weeks left. Guys, since we had a big birthday party last year, let's make it a smaller one this year and only invite 10,000 people. Even though he tried to reduce it, Sejun's scale of numbers had grown too large, completely out of sync with his conservative intentions. While Sejun was unknowingly creating more work for himself. Pew Hut, Kyungi, bring all the paper to make the invitations, meow. It's an opportunity to fatten up the great hybrid Chairman Park's bank account, meow. Kyung. Following Big Bro's command, Kyungi hurriedly brought all the paper from the storage. When Kyungi handed over the paper, stamp, Theo began stamping his paw print on them to create birthday party invitations. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, don't worry, meow. Vice Chairman Theo will fill the 99th floor of the tower with birthday party attendees, meow. Sejun's just 10,000 had already morphed into at least 10,000 in Theo's mind. Theo was adding a massive pile of work on top of Sejun's already heavy workload. Iona, make the invitations impossible to duplicate, meow. Kaiwat. Yes, power of magic, make this seal unique. To prevent a repeat of last time, he asked Iona to place an anti-duplication magic spell on the invitations. However, due to the limited paper supply, they were only able to make 5,000 invitations. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I'll go down and sell out all the invitations, meow. Okay. Theo, along with Iona and Piat's party, hurried down the tower. Bigteng, come with me, meow. Kaiyong. No, I want to stay. Bigteng, who didn't want to come, was dragged away by force. Theo couldn't leave behind a rival who might aim for Sejun's lap in his absence. After Theo and the group went down the tower, Kyungi, shall we finish things up? Kyung. Sounds good. Sejun and Kyungi focused on preparing food for the dragon's meeting. Although the cooking was done, the final step of garnishing the dishes remained. And then, Kivihit. This time I have to succeed. Blackie, who enjoyed the thrill, had purposely rejected Sejun's earlier offer and was again lurking, aiming for the food. It's no fun if it's too easy. Kaying. Signal me when the butler turns his head. With his subordinates on lookout, Blackie carefully bit into a fried squid and tried to sneak away. Hey, Park Blackie. Once again he was caught by Sejun. But Great Blackie always has a plan. Blackie even had a plan for getting caught. That plan was blackmail. Grrrr. Grrrr. If you give Great Blackie a diet menu, Great Blackie will burn Butler's money. Blackie, the arsonist dog, growled and threatened Sejun. However, go ahead and burn it if you can. Sejun was unbothered. That was because Theo had already burned through all of Sejun's money earlier while defeating the Black Flame Fire Moth. In other words, Sejun was broke without a single tower coin to burn. But to dare threaten me with growling, how long should our naughty Blackie be on a diet menu? Sejun pretended to ponder seriously. This isn't right. Kaying. Butler, Great Blackie was just joking. Great Blackie will behave well. Blackie swung his tail vigorously in front of Sejun, trying to act cute. But too late. It didn't work, and for threatening Sejun, Blackie was sentenced to 2 weeks of forced dieting until the birthday party. Kaying. I should have listened to Big Brother. I should never threaten to burn Butler's money again. Under Sejun's stern punishment, Blackie came to his senses and sealed away his power to burn Sejun's money, though it was unclear how long this would last. Hezeli. Who do you think you're messing with? Sejun was happy about winning against Blackie. But now that Theo's not around, it does feel a bit chilly. He looked at his knee, now free after a long time, with a slightly lonely expression. However, but I hope Vice Chairman Theo doesn't cause any trouble. He hasn't gone down recently, so I'm a bit worried. Sejun's expression soon turned to concern. On the way down the tower, Pew Hut, Urine, how many of our great hybrid Chairman Park's birthday invitations will you be buying, meow? Theo asked Urine as if it was a given. How many should I be buying? Urine responded with a blank expression to Theo's question. Pew Hut, buy 300,000, meow. Heliha, okay, then give me 300,000. Pew Hut, got it, meow. The price is 1 million tower coins per invitation, meow. Yurin simply bought the amount Theo said. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Theonim, I'll take 200,000. I think I'll give them to the wizards at the Wizard Tower and the Wizard Association. Pew Hut. As expected, Yona has a kind heart, meow. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Then Yona also ordered invitations. Pio. Theonim, I'll take 50,000 too. I want to give them to my friends in the kingdom of Kav. Piat also bought invitations. Just like that, Theo instantly sold 550,000 birthday invitations through Yona, Yurin, and Piat's purchases. The party scale Sejun envisioned had grown 5,400% in a flash. Pew Hut. First, I better head to the market street and buy all the paper to start making invitations, meow. Of course, this was just the beginning. Theo and his party arrived at the market street and bought up all the paper in every store, then stayed up all night making invitations. The territory of the Great Silver Dragon. When the day of the 5th dragon meeting arrived, thump thump, the other great dragons began arriving at the Silver Dragon's territory in droves. Great Silver Dragon Chrysella Hisronim, thank you for the invitation. Welcome, Great Blue Dragon Carl Aster. Great Silver Dragon Chrysella Hisronim, thank you for inviting. The great dragons greeted Chrysella. The first place they headed after greetings was the banquet hall where Sejun's food had been prepared. With that amount of food, the number of great dragons must be. With their exceptional intellects, they took into account various variables and calculated precisely down to the gram how much they would be able to eat. Once all the dragons had gathered, then I will now begin the 5th dragon meeting. With Chrysella's words, the meeting commenced. Topics regarding the creator god, Black Moon, destruction and corruption were raised in order, but most of the discussion involved sharing analyses based on the information brought by Sejun, because there was nothing they could directly intervene in. The creator god, said to be in the temple of the creator, had not issued any separate instructions, as if leaving things to unfold as they would. The energy of destruction leaking from the Black Moon served as a means of producing tower coins used in the dragon market, so they were actually hopping for even more of it. Moreover, destruction had not shown itself, making it impossible to come up with any countermeasures. Finally, corruption. Corruption. It has existed since the primordial god's time. Even the dragons, who had lived for tens of thousands of years, had never heard of such an existence. Once all the scheduled topics had concluded. Great Silver Dragon Chrysella Hisron, I would like to propose one additional agenda item. Kaiser spoke up, his voice slightly hesitant. Great Black Dragon Kaiser Pratani, permission granted, proceed with your proposal. Soon it will be the birthday of Tower Farmer Park Sejun of the Black Tower. As we great dragons have been indebted to Park Sejun, I request that we bestow upon him the title of Honorary Great Dragon. Kaiser proposed a birthday gift for Sejun. Grandfather, you know Sejun's birthday is coming up, right? Please give him the title of Honorary Great Dragon as a birthday present. That's right, give my brother-in-law the title. Naturally, Kaiser was moved by Aileen and Ace. What, the title of Honorary Great Dragon? Even for Sejun. It is Sejun's birthday. But can we handle the consequences if we give him that title? The leaders were shaken by Kaiser's words. The title of Honorary Great Dragon was an esteemed title that had only been granted once since the birth of the great dragons. It required the agreement of at least 5 of the 9 great dragon leaders. And one who received the title of Honorary Great Dragon would be treated as an equal great dragon by the other great dragons. In other words, it meant treating Sejun as a real member of their tribe. It was part of Aileen's grand plan to marry Sejun. I Great White Dragon Kellyan Maimb agree. I Great Red Dragon Ramter Zahir also agree. I Great Gold Dragon Artemis Yull agree to bestow the title of Honorary Great Dragon to Park Sejun. I Great Silver Dragon Chrysella Hisron also. I Great Green Dragon Brachio Iorg also. The leaders, who had received much from Sejun, began to agree one by one. I Great Blue Dragon Kin Aster agree. With this, all the leaders of the Great Dragons have unanimously agreed to bestow the title of Honorary Great Dragon upon Park Sejun. Sejun had been unanimously granted the title of Honorary Great Dragon. And then, now, those great dragons who wish to place a part of their dragon heart into the title to be given to Park Sejun, come forward. I will do it. I will. Thump thump. The leaders eagerly stepped forward at Chrysalla's words. If we all put our hearts in, Sejun will die. So only I, the one who proposed it, will put mine in. It can't be helped. Kaiser warned off the other leaders and carefully extracted a small part of his dragon heart and completed the title of Honorary Great Dragon by placing it into the magically formed title. However, you have received the title, Honorary Great Dragon, by unanimous agreement of the 9 great dragons. You are unable to withstand the power of the title. Your life is in danger. But contrary to Kaiser's expectations, Sejun could not endure even a single dragon heart and collapsed, drifting between life and death. Kyung, Dad, hang in there. Kaying, Butler. Kyungi and Blackie worked hard to heal Sejun. As always, Sunfish Sejun fell far short of the great dragon's expectations. Chapter 687, Hee hee. Butler, keep living like that. Great Blackie will protect you forever. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Kyung, Dad, pull yourself together. Squeeze, squeeze. Kyungi was diligently massaging Sejun's body with physical magic power massage. However, Uwug, Sejun kept letting out painful groans. The title of the Honorary Great Dragon was too overwhelming for Sejun to handle. And then, Keikirorong, Yumrorong, Keikurorong. The Blackie family was asleep during this emergency. They were actually making efforts in their own way in Sejun's mental world, while supporting Sejun's mental state. What would Big Brother do at a time like this? To save Sejun, Kyungi tried to recall what Theo had done. And then, this might work. Kyungi awakened a new talent. Flash. Unlike Theo, who burned money, Kyungi's front paw lit up as he burned something else of Sejun. What exactly was burned? No one knew yet. In any case, thanks to Kyungi's treatment, Sejun's pain began to ease. Kua. Phew. Sejun's breathing became noticeably more relaxed. At least on the outside. Sejun's mental world. Kruo. A massive black dragon trapped in Sejun's mental world roared in frustration. It was too cramped for its presence. And then, is it you, the one trying to trap me in such a small place? It glared at Sejun in rage. No, just calm down and let's talk. What kind of situation was this? Sejun tried to resolve things through conversation, but talking, I'll kill you and escape from here. The ferocious black dragon, bearing the exact temperament of the great black dragon Kaiser Pratani, swung its tail and tried to kill Sejun without hesitation. At that moment, boom! GRRR, how dare you touch Great Blackie's butler? A giant dark blue wolf Blackie appeared, blocking the tail. You bastard, you dare try to kill Sejunum. I won't let this slide. To strike Great Blackianum, you're dead today. The subordinates followed in behind, sending killing intent toward the black dragon. What, who are you guys? The black dragon shrank back under the overwhelming pressure of the former 12 apostles of destruction. Moments later, boom boom. Ayak, it hurts. Hey, even if you have to squeeze yourself, make your body smaller. If it's cramped, then shrink yourself. Surrounded and beaten by the Blackie family, the black dragon's size began to shrink. The body follows the mind. Thanks to this, the burden on Sejun's body greatly decreased. Then the black dragon settled down in Sejun's mental world, creating a black-colored hill. Heh, I thought I was going to die. After escaping the threat to his life. Hum hum hum. Sejun peacefully farmed in the field. At that moment, from afar, the great black dragons highly praised Park Sejunim's food. Your soul has become greatly fulfilled after receiving high praise from numerous prestigious beings. Your mental strength has increased by 100,000. Your mental strength has reached the cap of 50,000. Your mental strength can no longer increase. You have achieved 50,000 mental strength. Park Sejunim's week has begun to slightly influence the world. From afar, the great golden dragons highly praised Park Sejunim's food. Your mental strength overload is too severe. If this state continues for too long, your soul may collapse. As the great dragons ate Sejun's food, an overwhelming amount of mental strength surged into him beyond what he could bear. Since Sejun had received the title of Honorary Great Dragon, he was treated as one of the dragons and received a matching increase in mental strength. Great Blackianim, this is serious. A hole has formed in Sejunim's mental world. Get it together. At this rate the butler will die. Bupil, plug the hole. Yes, 8 ink shadow clones. 8 ink shadow clones of Mukbupil blocked the holes in Sejun's mental world with its 8 ink-made clones and 8 legs, working diligently. The Blackie family dispersed the surging mental strength and hurriedly repaired Sejun's mental world. However, unaware of the danger he was in, Sejun was peacefully farming as if the world was perfect. Butler, keep living like that. Great Blackie will protect you forever. Seeing Sejun like that, Blackie worked even harder to reinforce Sejun's mental world. Thus, under Blackie's protection, Sejun harvested sweet potatoes. 75th floor of the Black Tower. Mehehe, Ninir, should we go over there this time? Nivahe, shall we? The golden sheep Mimir and the red sheep Ninir sisters' eyes gleamed as they looked at a clothing store. It was a recently opened shop that had become popular lately, known for making bold yet stylish designs. Since a month ago, the two had started spending time together, shopping and visiting delicious restaurants. After becoming a legendary merchant, Ninir realized her own abilities. The sense of inferiority she had long harbored toward Mimir disappeared, but the resentment she held still did not go away easily. That was because the wounds she had received were too deep. So Ninir continued to avoid meeting Mimir. Then one day, Ninir and Nai, they happened to run into each other while walking down the street. And just like that, the door to Ninir's heart suddenly opened. Thanks to that, the two returned to being the friendly sisters they once were, spending joyful time together in the shopping district once a week. At that moment, Mimir and Nai, look, there's a crowd over there. Must be something interesting going on. Ninir spotted a gathering of many merchants. Really? Then let's go take a look too. Yeah. The two turned and walked over to the scene. And they say they'll be selling invitations to Chairman Park of Sejun Company's B-Day party soon. B-Day party, what's that? It's short for birthday party, you don't even know that. So what if I do? Why are you acting like you're some know-it-all genius and looking down on me? I can look down on you 100 times. Remember when you got scammed 5 years ago? What? I was scammed 3 years ago, stupid. Did you just call me stupid? You're the stupid one who got scammed. You can't even remember when I was scammed, you stupid idiot. How dare you? From the merchants' conversation, they realized that Sejun's birthday party invitations were being sold. Could it be? No way. A sense of dread overcame Mimir and Ninir. At that moment, Puhu Hut, merchants, greetings, meow. I, the right hand of the great hybrid Chairman Park Theanim, will sell invitations to the great hybrid Chairman Park's birthday party for just 1 million tower coins, meow. Their sense of dread materialized. The two instinctively felt fear from Theo. Like the primal fear a prey feels when facing a predator. Because every time they met, he swindled money out of them. However, I'll take one. Me too. The trap was that they voluntarily got fleeced. Get out of the way. Biziziziti. Move. Whoosh. Mimir and Ninir pushed aside the merchants with electricity and flames as they rushed toward Theo. Then, Puhuhut, Mimir and Ninir, how many will you buy, meow? For reference, Urin bought 300,000, meow. Predator Theo fanned himself with a wad of invitations and asked the two with a beaming smile. Then I'll take 350,000. Me too. Today too, two innocent sheep voluntarily getting fleeced. Yuhehehe, then I'll buy 200,000 more too. A pink pig joined them. Puhuhut, excellent, meow, here, take them all, meow. Theo handed out the huge pile of invitations and took their money. And so Sejun's balance grew rapidly. Why am I lying down? Sejun came to his senses and sat up. Kirorong. Ke Kirorong. Iamrorong. Next to Sejun were Kyungi and the Blackie family, sound asleep, exhausted from treating him. You guys sleep well. Pad pad. While Sejun gently patted Kyungi and Blackie, the tower's administrator asks in a worried voice if you're okay. Aileen spoke to him. Yeah, but why did I faint? I've become much stronger lately. Sejun, who mistakenly believed he had become stronger, wondered. The tower's administrator says it's all her fault. The tower's administrator, in a tearful voice, says she was greedy and almost got you killed. Aileen tearfully explained the reason Sejun had collapsed. It's okay, you just did it for my sake too, I'm fine, and I survived, hehe. Believe it or not, I'm immortal. Perhaps a sunfish constantly exposed to life-threatening situations is the easiest being to become immortal. As Sejun was chatting with Aileen. Kyung. Dad, are you okay now? Kyungi woke up and examined Sejun's body all over to make sure he was fine. And then, Kyung. Hehe, Kyungi healed Dad really well. Kyungi wore a very proud expression. Our Kyungi healed Dad, Kyungi, thank you. Kyung. That's right, but Kyungi burned 2 of Dad's skills in return. Burned a skill, 2 of them, is that even possible? At Kyungi's words, Sejun quickly checked his skills. Skill. Mastery of Farming Tools LV. 6. Magic Seed Sowing Master Harvesting Master Seed Shop LV. 5. Seed Harvesting LV. 9. Farmer's Warm Touch LV. 9. Crop Gigantification LV. 9. Fire Field LV. 7. You are a Field Master Greenhouse LV. 6. Grass Laying LV. 5. Crop Miniaturization LV. 3. Transplanting LV. 7. Beekeeping Master Rain Thunder LV. 9. Delicious Cooking Master Vitality LV. 9. Fermentation LV. 8. Maintain Cleanliness LV. 5. Weed Pulling LV. 7. Advanced Aura Swordsmanship Master Unity of Sword and Body Master Bunker LV. 5. They're gone. Just as Kyungi said, 2 skills were really missing. Intermediate Spear Technique LV. 2. And Intermediate Shield Technique LV. 2. Phew. That's a relief. Sejun sighed in relief that none of his farming skills had been lost. Kyungi, but how did you burn my skills? Kyung. Haha, Kyungi was thinking about what Big Brother would do. Kyung. So Kyungi awakened the talent called Healing by burning Dad's skills. Kyungi excitedly explained how his skill had evolved in response to Sejun's question. These Park brothers, do you guys just awaken talents by willing it? Sejun looked enviously at Kyungi, who freely awakened talents at will. Right, I got a title, didn't I? To feel better, he checked his title, Honorary Great Dragon. An honorable title granted by the Great Dragons, bestowed for the 2nd time in the history of the Great Dragons. Also, it is the first title ever unanimously agreed upon by the 9 leaders of the Great Dragons. The recipient of this title is treated as kin by the Great Dragons. Contains a part of the heart of the Great Black Dragon Kaiser Pratani, and grants the dignity of the Great Dragons. Creator, the 9 leaders of the Great Dragons. Usage restriction, Black Towers Tower Farmer Park Sejun. Grade cannot be measured. Skill, Energy of the Great Black Dragon Master. Energy of the Great Black Dragon, Master. For 1 second, you can emit a weak energy of the Great Black Dragon Kaiser Pratani. A weak energy of Kaisernim. Curiosity sparked in Sejun. Energy of the Great Black Dragon. He used the title skill. Gulio. At the moment, a tremendous dragon's energy radiated from Sejun's body. The world held its breath for 1 second. The sky, the earth, even Sejun's crops, the Blackie family too. And then, Sejun himself. Shocked by the energy he emitted, Sejun fainted again. Kyung. Dad, what are you doing? Kyungi, the only one unaffected by Sejun's energy, hurriedly treated Sejun and the Blackie family, with his glowing front paws. Thanks to that, Sejun's skill Vitality LV9 was also burned. Chapter 688, Kyungi, but Dad is healthy though. Black Tower, 75th floor. K. Kayong. Chief Piat, why are we doing this? Nying Nyong. Chief, the calculations are too hard. P. Bugbug. Let's just rest a bit first, Jayikik. When do we eat? Pio Pio. This is all part of social experience. Stop complaining and do it. Piat was managing seniors more than 300 years older and making them sell invitations to merchants. Puhut, my subordinate Ulrich, welcome meow. Theo was handling Big Spender, who bought invitations in bulk. Hello, Vice Chairman Theo. Are there any invitations left for us black orcs to participate? Puhut, how many do you need meow? Please give us 7.3 million. Puhut, here you go meow. Ulrich, the king of black orcs, bought birthday party invitations from Theo so that all black orcs under his command could attend. Vice Chairman Theo will also buy 5 million. The Red Orcs, ruler Giant Fang, who had secretly tried and failed to forge invitations with help of skilled hand, also came and bought invitations in bulk. The Red Orcs still hadn't learned their lesson. Vice Chairman Theo, hello. Puhut, Kona, it's been a while meow. How many invitations do you need meow? I'd like to buy 500. Kona, the blue-backed penguin from the 44th floor of the tower, also bought invitations to attend with her kin. Following them, Hegel, Elka, and the banana monkeys also came to buy invitations. Theo could have given them away for free or offered discounts, but Puhut, pay up meow. This is all for the great hybrid Chairman Park meow. Theo persistently collected payment. As the 50 million invitations Theo had made were almost all gone. Puhut, let's go buy more paper meow. Kaiwat, yes. Theo took the group to purchase large amounts of paper again and resumed printing invitations. The invitation business wasn't over yet. Even bigger spenders were waiting. Black Tower, 99th floor. All right. Sejun, who had fainted after receiving the title, Honorary Great Dragon, and then used the title's skill energy of the Great Black Dragon Master, only to faint again, opened his eyes energetically in the late afternoon. Kyungi had worked hard to heal him. The Blackie family had greatly increased his mental strength, and perhaps because he had slept too much, he was brimming with energy. I'm hungry. Rubbing his stomach. Kyung. Kaying. Sejun carried the exhausted Kyungi and Blackie family who had fallen asleep after treating him, and headed to the kitchen to start cooking. A little while later, as the delicious aroma of food spread, Kyueha Kyung. Haha, it smells delicious. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, is it time for roasted and dried sweet potatoes? Kyungi and the Blackie family opened their eyes. Sejun ate with his companions. Kyueha Kyung. Haha, it's tasty. Kyungi ate squid over rice with Sejun. Jajap. And Blackie gobbled up 5 pieces of roasted and dried sweet potatoes. Knowing how much Blackie had suffered in his mental world, Sejun didn't serve him a diet meal today. As they ate and their stomachs became full. Vitality. Sejun used the vitality skill to eat more food. The vitality skill quickly digests food in the stomach and temporarily increases all stats by up to 9%. So it was a skill Sejun frequently used when he wanted to eat more. However, there was no response. Kyungi, who had burned out Sejun's vitality skill, also put down his spoon and entered reflection mode, cautiously watching Sejun. Kyungi, did you burn it? Kyung. Yes. Kyungi responded to Sejun's question with a guilty expression. Kyungi didn't want to burn Sejun's vitality skill either, which would have allowed them to eat together longer, but things were urgent and there was no time to choose a different skill. It's okay. Kyungi did it to heal Dad, right? Besides, if I go to the peach farm on the 55th floor of the tower and eat peaches, I can learn it again. Kyungi will find it again for me, right? Sejun patted Kyungi's head and spoke with a voice full of trust. Kyung. That's right, Kyungi will find an even better peach for Dad. Kyungi answered cheerfully with a smile. If they went and couldn't find the soft peach of vitality that grants the vitality skill, Kyungi might be disappointed, but in that case, they'd just find another way. There's always a way. Since Walgang had asked to visit once, Sejun figured he might as well go down tomorrow. Kyungi, Dad is fine, so you eat the rest. As Sejun, who could no longer eat more due to the loss of the vitality skill, put down his spoon and gave the remaining squid rice bowl to Kyungi. Keikirorong. Iamrorong. Keikurorong. The sound of the Blackie family snoring was heard. Blackie had fallen asleep at some point. Whether it was from earlier overexertion or the aftermath of Sejun's skill, he had passed out while eating roasted and dried sweet potatoes. He had eaten 4 and had 1 left, but he was tightly holding it in his mouth, showing his determination not to let it be taken away. You punk, let's save this for next time. Kaying. Sejun removed the dried sweet potato Blackie was holding in his mouth and stuck it to his back. It stuck well since it was sticky. And then, Mr. Blackie, you have such a good life. Kaying. While stretching the peacefully sleeping Blackie. Kyungi, what do you want for your birthday present? He asked Kyungi, who was eating. Kyung. What does Dad want for his birthday present? Kyungi replied with a counter-question. Dad wants the peach Kyungi will find. Kyung. Hehe, got it. Kyungi will find the best peach. Kyungi's motivation flared at Sejun's words. So what does Kyungi want as a present? Kyungi paused to think. Kyung. Hehe. Kyungi wants Dad to get healthy and play with Kyungi for a long time. That would be a present for Kyungi. KRRGH. As expected, my son is the best. Kyungi's answer touched Sejun's heart. And then, Kyungi, but Dad is healthy though. Sejun corrected the misunderstanding. Kyung. No, Dad is not healthy. Kyungi shook his head firmly. And at dawn, Kaying. Where did Great Blackie's roasted and dried sweet potato go? Sniff. I can smell it, but... Blackie woke up late at night and spent a long time searching for the roasted and dried sweet potato stuck to his back, but ultimately didn't find it and went back to sleep. The next morning, all right, I'm heading out. Tower's administrator says in an excited voice to bring back a lot of peaches. Kyung. Sejunam, please be safe. Kyungi, watch Dad closely. Kyung. Hehe, got it. Kyungi will watch Dad well. Mom should train hard too. Sejun received a farewell from Aileen and Pinkfur and moved to the 55th floor with Kyungi and the Blackie family. When they arrived at the waypoint on the 55th floor of the Black Tower, you have arrived at the 55th floor of the Black Tower. You have descended 44 floors from the highest floor, the 99th floor, to the 55th floor. Due to the effect of tidal, one who reached the summit of all towers, the effect of tidal, retrogressor, has been amplified tenfold. Due to the effect of tidal, retrogressor, all stats have increased by 1320. Due to the effect of tidal, one who reached the summit of the 9 towers, You are invincible for 10 seconds after descending the tower. Messages appeared before Sejun. Hesitantly. He couldn't hide the sense of pride welling up inside him. At that moment, clank, the void storage opened. Kyung. Dad, no. Kaying. Butler, don't make that ugly face. Kyungi and Blackie burst out and began energetically stomping on Sejun's face with their front paws. They too had realized, watching Sejun's transformation in Grandra, that how dangerous it was when he makes this face. There's a saying that you can't spit on a smiling face, so why am I not allowed to smile? As Sejun lay sadly, being stomped on by Kyungi and Blackie. Peep-ip. Sejun, am welcome. A soldier guarding the waypoint greeted him. Yes, just let Walgang and Hugh Walbach know that we've arrived. We'll stop by the peach farm before going to them. Peep-ip. Understood. Sejun had the soldier inform them of his visit and said, Kyungi, let's go. Kyung. With Kyungi's telekinesis, they flew into the sky and headed toward the peach farm. A little while later, Sejun and his group arrived at the peach farm. Oh, a lot of peaches have ripened. Sejun could see white rabbits tending the farm and peaches that had ripened to a pinkish color. Sniff, sniff. Kyuha, kyung, kyung, kyung. Haha, it smells sweet. Dad, wait just a bit. Kyungi will find the best peach. Kyungi quickly began sniffing around in search of the soft peach of vitality, which could grant the vitality skill. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, Butler, Great Blackie wants to eat that one. Blackie, intoxicated by the sweet smell, begged Sejun to let him eat peaches by biting his pant leg. All right. Pluck, you have harvested a peach. Your job experience has increased very, very slightly. Your proficiency in harvesting master has increased slightly. You have gained 1 experience point. Sejun picked 1 well-ripened peach. Blackie, is it sweet? Kilahit Kaying Kaying. Hee, yeah, but now I want roasted and dried sweet potatoes. As he shared it with Blackie. Kyung. Found it. Kyungi had found the peach he was searching for. Haha, there are lots of good peaches. And he had found 5 of them. Sejun's tower farmer rank had influenced the farm, improving the quality of the crops grown there. Thus, Kyungi secured 5 soft peaches of vitality. He placed 3 of them on his front paws and... Kyung. Time to synthesize herbs. He used the herbalist skill. Kyungi's herb synthesis was a skill that could only be used on herbs or crops with potent medicinal properties, enough to qualify as herbs. It allowed synthesizing 3 identical herbs into one, thereby enhancing its efficacy. Flash. After a dazzling light flashed from Kyungi's front paws and disappeared, only 1 peach remained on his paws. Kyung. Haha, Dad, Kyungi found a super good peach. Kyungi excitedly ran toward Sejun and handed him the peach he had synthesized from 3 soft peaches of vitality. Super soft peach of vitality. The 1 peach that came into Sejun's hand. Super vitality. Sejun hurriedly examined the peach, super soft peach of vitality. This is a peach whose medicinal effects were enhanced by Black Tower's advanced herbalist, Park Kyungi, using the herb synthesis skill with 3 soft peaches of vitality. The hidden effect of the peach was activated by Park Kyungi, the Black Tower's advanced herbalist, by burning 70,000 magic power. It has become sweeter, and its medicinal effects have greatly increased. Upon consumption, all stats increase by 100. Upon consumption, you can learn the skill, Super Vitality. Upon consumption, the talent, Longevity, can be awakened. Usage restriction, LV, 50 or higher, all stats 1000 or higher. He used 70,000 magic power. Sejun was surprised at first that Kyungi had burned magic power, but then... No, wait, Kyungi's magic stat is over 1 million. He soon realized it wasn't a big number for Kyungi and felt relieved. But the hidden effect is longevity. while Sejun was lost in thought. Kilahit Kang. Hee butler, give me that one too. Blackie bounced up and down, eyeing the super vitality soft peach in Sejun's hand that was giving off an intensely sweet aroma. Kyung. Blackie, you eat this one. Kang. Okay. He had no choice but to give up. Instead, he ate the soft peach of vitality that Kyungi was offering with a scary face. It felt like something bad would happen if he didn't eat it. On the 670th day since entering the tower, Sejun, in exchange for losing the vitality skill, was able to obtain the superior super vitality skill and the talent, longevity. Hehe, this is what you call blessing in disguise. Sejun wore a smug expression. Kyung. Dad, that face is not okay. Kilahit Kang. Hee butler's face is ugly. The price he paid was a sticky paw massage from Kyungi and Blackie, whose paws were smeared with peach juice. Chapter 689. You rascal, I won't let you have my Lara. Black Tower 55th floor skill, Super Vitality LV. 1. Quickly digests food remaining in the stomach to gain super vitality. For 30 minutes, all stats increase by up to 3% and physical regeneration significantly increases. Can last up to 1 hour with 2 stacks. Duration is determined by the amount of food left in the stomach. Talent longevity. This is a talent that allows you to live up to 300 years longer than your natural lifespan, unless an accident occurs. The aging process slows slightly. After eating the super soft peach of vitality, Sejun checked the options for super vitality and longevity. Thanks to you, Kyungi, Dad will live a long time. He praised Kyungi while stroking his belly. Kyung. Hehe, Kyungi will help Dad live even longer. Kyungi was delighted by Sejun's praise. Yeah. Sejun smiled contentedly at Kyungi's words. And then, Kang. The butler smiled again. Blackie charged straight at Sejun's face. He only stroked Kyungi Hyung's belly and didn't stroke Great Blackie's belly. I hate the butler. It was pure jealousy. But, Blackie, you rascal, you're just trying to step on me, aren't you? Kang. Oh, how did the stupid butler know? As punishment, belly farts, bub. Blackie's jealousy-filled dark heart turned pure white again. Kilahit. I'll forgive you just this once. After receiving belly farts from Sejun. And Kyungi wants a belly blow too. Kyungi looked at Sejun with sparkling eyes, offering his belly and waiting his turn. All right, belly farts for Kyungi too, bub. Kyuiha. After blowing into Kyungi's belly and enjoying a happy healing time. Okay, let's stop playing and harvest the peaches. Sejun stood up and began harvesting peaches. Kyuiha Kyung. Hehe, Kyungi will help Dad. Kilahit Kang. Hee butler, Great Blackie will help too. Even though they weren't much help, Kyungi and the Blackie family assisted in harvesting peaches. After about 2 hours, the peach harvest was finished, and let's go eat now. He headed out to find Hugh Walbach around lunchtime. Black Tower, 75th floor. A lazy afternoon, about 30 minutes after lunchtime. Knock. Mason, the chairman of the Wandering Merchant Association, who had just eaten a hearty lunch and was dozing off at his desk, rubbed his eyes and looked toward the door at the sound of knocking. Who is it? No one's supposed to come today. Mason was puzzled since there were no appointments in the afternoon. Then, click. The door opened roughly and, Puhut, Masonim, nice to see you, meow. Kaiwat, Masonim, it's been a while. Pio. Hello. Yuheha, Masonim, it's been a while, can I eat this cookie? Kyle Nainyang Pipokpok JJchik. Theo and his group naturally entered as if it were their own room and began to run around Mason's office chaotically. Mason was bothered by them making a mess of his room, but Hugh. He took a deep breath and dulled his sharpening irritation. Then, Vice Chairman Theo, welcome. What brings you here? He welcomed Theo and asked the reason for the visit. He had a feeling he knew, but asked anyway while pretending not to, because he didn't want to be forced into buying a large batch of invitations. Of course, he did want to attend the Great Black Dragon's birthday party. However, aside from himself and his family, he was reluctant to buy a large number of invitations under the name of the Wandering Merchant Association. That was because the Wandering Merchant Association chairman election, held once every 10 years, was just around the corner. Lately, due to Sejun Company sweeping up enormous amounts of money from the Black Tower without spending it, the flow of currency had stagnated, causing serious deflation. As a result, the wallets of wandering merchants had thinned, and even purchasing invitations under the association's name was something others would scrutinize. So he planned to buy invitations for himself and his family later, at a premium from others who had already purchased them. Pew Hut, I've come to sell the birthday party invitations for the Great Hybrid Chairman Park. For Masonim, I'll start from 10,000 invitations, meow. Seeing Theo speak with a bright smile, Mason realized things would not go according to his plan. Life never goes as planned anyway. Then just 10,000. Mason, resigned, carefully opened his mouth while watching Theo's reaction. Pew Hut. By the way, Iona, the chairman of the Wizards Association, bought 200,000 invitations, meow. Theo pressured Mason by mentioning how many invitations another association chairman, Iona, had purchased. But who would argue with the destructive wizard? Hearing Theo's words, Mason felt even more disheartened. Unlike Iona, who held tight control over the Wizards Association, Mason hadn't fully seized control of the Wandering Merchant Association. Sigh, all right. If Vice Chairman Theo grants my favor, I will purchase 5 million invitations for Chairman Park's birthday party. Pew Hut, that sounds great, meow. What's the favor, meow? Please say you support me during the Wandering Merchant Association Chairman election campaign. If you do that, I will buy 5 million invitations. With a cautious voice, Mason threw his lifetime gamble at Theo. If he had the support of a subordinate of the Great Black Dragon, the backlash over buying 5 million invitations could be completely quelled. In the Black Tower, the authority of Theo, subordinate of the Great Black Dragon, was absolute. Pew Hut, really, meow. If I Vice Chairman Theo support Masonim, you'll buy 5 million invitations. Of course, I'm the chairman of an association that survives on trust. Just support me, and I'll immediately buy 5 million invitations. As Theo's response wasn't negative, Mason's complexion brightened. Then, Pew Hut, sounds good, meow. And I'll add the support of Wizards Association Chairman Iona, legendary merchants Urin, Mimir, and Ninir, so buy 10 million more, meow. Theo added further conditions. Of course, I'd be honored. Mason's lips curled up to his ears. With this level of support behind him, even consecutive 10-term might be possible. And this really worked, meow. As expected, every word from the Great Hybrid Chairman Park is right, meow. Theo was amazed once again at Sejun's greatness as he used the ask and double technique Sejun had taught him. Ask and double was something Sejun had taught for fun, and even Sejun didn't know Theo would actually use it. But that wasn't all Sejun had taught him. Vice Chairman Theo, if it works, go for the triple. Pew Hut, got it, meow. There was also ask and triple. And Pew Hut, Masonim, then I'll also throw in support from our Great Hybrid Chairman Park, Minotaur King, and Pink Fur, so please buy 45 million more invitations, meow. Theo faithfully followed Sejun's teachings. What? Adding 45 million to the previous 15 million. Cold sweat began to trickle down Mason's forehead. Black Tower, 55th floor. Swoosh. Sejun arrived at the main gate of White Castle, the royal palace of the Red Ribbon Kingdom, together with Kyungi and the Blackie family. And, I'm hungry, let's hurry and ask Walbach for lunch. Kuehe kuang. Hehe sounds good. Kilahit kaying kaying. He Walbach hyung, Great Blackie is here. As they hurried off to get lunch. Peepayuk. Sejunum, it's an emergency, help. Master Bo. Bachi appeared and asked for help. What's going on, can't you tell me on the way? Peepayuk. No. Bachi wanted to say no, that it was truly an emergency, but. Growl. Grrr. Peepayuk. Okay. As it seemed their meal would be delayed, the growling of Kuangi and Blackie forced Bacha to accept. Peepik. Sejunum, this way please. As Sejun entered the palace, a black rabbit, who was standing guard, guided him to Hugh Walbach. So you're saying Lara might have a boyfriend? Sejun talked with Bacha while walking alongside the guard. Peepayuk, peepayuk, peepayuk. Yes, other rabbits saw Lara leaving home this morning with another male rabbit. Sejunum, what should I do? Should I kill Lara's boyfriend? If you do that, it'll be over with Lara too, forever. Peepayuk. Bacha became depressed at Sejun's words. Let's find out the situation a little more first. Usually in cases like this, it's often a younger brother or a relative. Sejun gave advice, recalling all the romance he'd learned from dramas and anime. There's always a misunderstanding scene like this. Peepayuk. Really? Yes, over 75% chance for sure. Sejun answered with great confidence. Meanwhile, Sejun and his group arrived at the office where Hugh Walbach was. Peepik. Our respected King Hugh Walbach, Great Black Dragon Park Sejunum and his party have arrived. The guard reported to Hugh Walbach. Then, Peepayuk. Let them in. Hugh Walbach's reply came. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The massive doors opened. Kuang. It's little Hyung. Kaying. Walbach Hyung. Dedada. Kuangi and Blackie ran toward Hugh Walbach. You saw him a few days ago, are you that happy? While watching them run with a smile. Hello? Grab. Sejun quickly covered Bachai's eyes and ears. And? Peepayuk. Sejunum, what are you doing? Just stay still. Clunk. He stuffed Bacha straight into the void storage. Inside Hugh Walbach's office, Lara, wearing a yellow ribbon on her ear, was happily chatting with another male white rabbit. They really are a couple. That 75% probability was wrong. If Bacha had seen this, there might have been bloodshed. So Sejun prevented potential bloodshed. Walbach, but those people are. He cautiously asked Hugh Walbach. From his perspective as a self-proclaimed dating master, the two were undeniably a couple, but still, just in case. Peepayuk. Oh, you know Lara, and this here is Lara's father. Peepik. I am honored to meet the Great Black Dragon Park Sejunum. Introduced by Hugh Walbach, Lara's father bowed politely. It was her father. I can't believe I was wrong. Sejun couldn't believe he had been mistaken. Ah, so you're Lara's father, nice to meet you. You look so young. I wouldn't have known if someone said you were her boyfriend. To justify being wrong, Sejun blamed it on him looking young. Peepik, peepik. Thank you, Great Black Dragonum. Lara's father was flustered by Sejun's compliment. Peepayuk, peepayuk. Uncle, why is he suddenly acting like that, so awkward? Hugh Walbach shook his head from side to side. Judging by his reaction, it was clear Lara's father wasn't youthful-looking at all. After exchanging greetings with Lara's father, clunk, Sejun carefully opened the void storage. Then, Master Bo, he is not a boyfriend but Lara's father. Make a good impression on him and earn some points. He quietly whispered to Bache. In Sejun's view, this was an incredibly good opportunity. If Bache made a solid first impression on Lara's father, he could become a strong ally in the path to marriage with Lara. However, Master Bo, Bache wasn't listening to Sejun. Peepayuk. You rascal, I won't let you have my Lara. Bache, upon seeing the male rabbit getting along with Lara, had already lost his mind. Whoosh! 30 swords were aimed at the future father-in-law. Kyungi blocked it. Kyung. Thankfully, Kyungi caught the swords with telekinesis and stopped the attack, but he couldn't stop the killing intent that seeped out. Peepek, peepek. I wondered which scoundrel was after my daughter. It was you. I won't give my daughter to you either. And so, instead of gaining a strong ally, Bache made an enemy. Or perhaps he had been one from the beginning. Peepayuk, peepayuk. Father-in-law, I was wrong. Please give me your daughter. Bache belatedly knelt and begged for forgiveness, but Peepek, peepek. Who are you calling father-in-law? You just tried to kill me. Peepayuk. Father-in-law. The father-in-law's anger wasn't appeased. And then, snicker. Peepek. Bache, you fool. Lara, who had brought her father to gain his approval for marrying Bache, looked at Bache kneeling before her father and let out a small smile. To her father, Bache was a reckless scoundrel who raised a sword at him, but in Lara's eyes, he was a dashing fool who brandished his sword for her sake. And the fact that he willingly knelt for her added extra points. Before anyone realized it, Lara too had hearts in her eyes. Chapter 690, Damn, I'm Jealous. Black Tower, 75th floor. Vice Chairman Theonim, here it is. Mason, who could only buy 30 million invitations due to the lack of funds in the Wandering Merchant Association, handed over 30 trillion tower coins to Theo. Because the quantity was severely insufficient, among Sejun, Minotaur King, and Pinkfur, only Pinkfur would provide support. Puhu Hut, Masonim, if you want to earn the support of the great hybrid Chairman Park, you'll need to work harder, meow. While Theo was saying that to Mason as he received the money, he suddenly began looking around. It seems Chairman Park is getting closer, meow, and the direction isn't above but below, meow. That was because Sejun's location had changed. Puhu Hut, looks like Chairman Park personally went to sell the invitations to Walbach, meow. Based on the sensitivity of the Sejun knee detector, Theo was convinced that Sejun was on the 55th floor of the tower. Then we'll stop by the Mercenaries Association before heading to the Lizard Kingdom on the 70th floor of the tower, meow. Kaiwat, 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 yes. And so, Theo and his group left the headquarters of the Wandering Merchant Association and moved to the headquarters of the Freelance Mercenaries Association headquarters. For reference, the headquarters of the Freelance Mercenaries Association was located 2 blocks away. A little later, knock, knock, knock. Theo knocked on the door of the Mercenary Association chairman's office. But, meow, why is Hannibal here, meow? There was no one inside. As soon as Hannibal heard that Mason had been fleeced by Theo, he ran away by accepting a random request. However, Kaiwat, Theonim, it looks like Hannibal went to the 71st floor of the tower for a request. Since we're headed that way, we can stop by as we go. Yona looked through the request log on Hannibal's desk and figured out his destination. Puhu Hut, good, meow, then let's depart quickly, meow. And so, Theo and his companions began descending the tower. A little while later, meow, that's Hannibal, meow. Huh. They happened to meet Hannibal, who had let his guard down and was resting leisurely with his subordinates in the merchant passageway, thinking he had escaped well. Puhu Hut, Hannibal, by the birthday party invitations of our great hybrid Chairman Park, meow. For you, I'll start with a special offer of 100,000 invitations, meow. Theo's irresistible sales pitch began. Black Tower, 55th floor. Poor Master Bo, he's doomed. Sejun looked pitifully at Bache, who was clinging onto Lara's father's leg hair. Trying to attack your father-in-law. From Sejun's point of view, this marriage was over. He figured he'd have to buy Master Bo a consolation drink later. And just as he was thinking of buying Bache some drinks and introducing him to a new girlfriend. Pip. Father, please stop now. Lara stepped in and tried to stop her father, Rollo. Peep-ip, peep-ip, peep-ip. Stop what, Lara, you saw it too, didn't you? This guy tried to kill me. Rollo, still burning with rage, shouted angrily. Peep-ip, peep-ip. But he didn't kill you, so it's fine. Peep-ip, peep-ip. What do you mean by that? Is that something to say to a father who almost died? Peep-ip, peep-ip. Father, then is it okay if I tell Mom about your secret fund? I think I even know the location. Peep-ip. I forgive your crime. At the mention of a secret fund, he quickly calmed down. However, Kaiwip. Father-in-law, thank you. I will work hard to live well with Lara from now on. Peep-ip, peep-ip. When did I say I approved the marriage? I said I'd forgive you for trying to kill me. Rollo got angry again at Bacce's words. And then, peep-ip, peep-ip, peep-ip. Secret fund. Peep-ip, peep-ip, peep-ip. No, absolutely don't tell your mother. Please take good care of my daughter. At Lara's words, Rollo did another complete 180. Sejun didn't know how much was in Rollo's secret fund, but he had a pretty good sense of how precious it was to him. And so, Bacce and Lara's marriage was decided in an instant. Master Bo is getting married before me. Sejun was deeply shocked to see Bacce's marriage being settled in front of his eyes like beans popping on a hot pan. First, he was shocked that his judgment as a so-called romance expert had been wrong. Second, the fact that the marriage was settled in this atmosphere. And finally, no, the 300-year single soldier has deserted. He was surprised that Bacce, who was definitely the pillar of the singles corps, had been discharged. And it wasn't even through dating, it was straight to marriage. That's too fast. They say if you're jealous, you lose. Damn, I'm jealous. Sejun couldn't hide his envy. Thanks to that, Sejun's face began to become ugly. Kyung. Dad's face has become super ugly. Quickly fix your face. Kilahit kaying. Hee, Butler's face is getting ugly. Let's stomp it. Kyungi and Blackie quickly rushed to Sejun's face and stomped on it wildly. After getting his face stepped on, Sejun snapped out of his shock. Let's eat first. Peepayak. Prepare the meal, uncle, follow me. Following the guidance of Hugh Walbach, they headed to the dining hall together. Farming school. Hey, seriously now. You think this old man is deceiving you? I personally taught Chairman Park of Sejun Company how to farm, and I was even the No. 1 founding member of Sejun Company. Grandpa, you're lying again. Grandpa, you're lying to us again, aren't you? Last time you said you could eat 100 carrots and couldn't even finish them all. And the thing about Uncle Theo coming if we don't listen, that was a lie too, right? We know everything now. Liar. Once again, Wolfgang was being ignored by the baby rabbits today. He found it so fun to tease the baby rabbits with lies that he did it often, and now that habit had come back to bite him. He had become the shepherd grandpa no one believed anymore. Unfortunately, the baby rabbits who had met Sejun in the past had already graduated, so there was no one to vouch for Wolfgang's words. No, there was one person, but... Honey. HMPH. Walha wouldn't help, because Wolfgang hadn't included her as founding member No. 1 with him. As husband and wife, they should be united, but being treated like No. 2 number 2 didn't sit right with her. At that moment, swoosh! Suddenly, a black rabbit appeared in front of Wolfgang. Wolfgangnam, Sejunim has arrived at the White Castle. He was part of the security team, guarding Wolfgang and Walha, and also responsible for relaying news from the royal family. And then, what? Sejunim has arrived. Overcome with emotion at the news of Sejun's arrival, Wolfgang regained his confidence. You little kids, just wait a little longer. Sejunim will show up and go rower, and take all the bad rabbits away. He began bluffing loudly at the baby rabbits again, but, we don't believe Grandpa anymore. Nya. Since he had completely lost the trust of the baby rabbits, his words had no effect at all. Sejunim, please come quickly and go rower. Thinking that all this distrust would disappear as soon as Sejun arrived, Walgang said, "All right, let's plant some carrots now." "Liar. Don't believe you." "Hey, this time it's true." "Yaki, not falling for it." "Yaki, I'm telling the truth. Look, Grandpa's planting carrots." And so he began a difficult class with baby rabbits who didn't believe him. White Castle Dining Hall. Kwek. Lara si. Bache clung to Lara with a look like he could die from happiness. Since they were already engaged, there didn't seem to be a problem, but... Master Bo, please maintain your dignity. The king of the red ribbon, Hugh Walbach, is here. This is improper. Peep-ip, peep-ip. The words of the great black dragonim are right. Son-in-law Bache, maintain decorum. Sejun and Rollo, both very displeased with Bache, glared with fierce eyes and interfered. "Lara's father, we get along well, don't we?" When Sejun offered his fist to Rollo. "Peep-ip. Great black dragonim, it is an honor." Rollo, with an overly reverent expression, carefully bumped his fluffy white paw, covered in soft fur, against Sejun's fist. As they continued talking, food was brought out, and the conversation carried on as they ate. "Master Bo, so when are you getting married?" "Kaiwup. Right now." "That soon, isn't that too fast?" Sejun shook his head at Bache's answer, and peep-ip. To think I have to send my daughter to someone so impulsive with no plans. Rollo was outraged. "Kaiwup. Then 1 month from now." Bache changed his answer, gauging Rollo's reaction. "That's too late, isn't it?" At Bache's revised answer, Sejun shook his head again. "Peep-ip. To think I have to send my daughter to someone so indecisive and lacking in initiative." Rollo was furious once more. "What do you want from me?" Bache was completely confused about how to respond. Hehe, serves him right. There's fun in teasing him. Watching Bache struggle, Sejun and Rollo were secretly enjoying themselves. The truth was, they both disapproved of Bache and Lara's marriage and were simply bullying him for fun. As Bache was unable to decide on a wedding date due to Rollo's constant glare. "Pipayak. Just have it on my birthday." Hugh Walbach picked the wedding date for them. "Walbach's birthday." "My birthday." "Kyung. It's Kyungi's birthday." "Kaying. The birth anniversary of Great Blackie." Since they shared the same birthday, it didn't really matter whose it was, but the group all tried to claim it as their own. "All right, let's do that. We'll just hold the wedding during the birthday party on the 99th floor of the tower." Come to think of it, having the wedding and party on the same day meant they wouldn't have to prepare separately, so Sejun agreed. However, he didn't yet realize that doing so would cause the hamsters from Hamp to flood in like clouds to attend Bache's wedding. Thus, the number of party guests kept growing. A little later, after the meal ended. "But do we have enough ingredients?" Clank. Sejun opened the void storage to check if they had enough ingredients for the party. Most of the food supplies had already been used up while preparing for the dragon's meeting. Originally, he had expected about 10,000 guests, so he hadn't thought they'd run short, but with wedding guests being added, he'd have to recalculate. For a wedding, noodles and steak are a must. Sejun examined the ingredients. As expected, there's not much. There was no slime meat at all, and the rest of the ingredients were also insufficient. "I'll have to start by restocking slime. Kyungi, let's go hunt some slime together." "Kyung. Understood." They entered the room where the slimes were. "Kyung." With a single punch from Kyungi, they caught the necessary number of slimes. Black Tower's advanced herbalist Park Kyungi has defeated the 5th calamity of destruction, gold slime. You have earned 150 billion experience points, which is 50% of the experience gained by Black Tower's advanced herbalist Park Kyungi. As a result of the title, owner of the Calamity Farm, you have gained an additional 300 billion experience points. Congratulations! You have leveled up. You have obtained 10 bonus stat points. Your strength has increased by 30. Your strength potential has increased by 1%. Congratulations! You have leveled up. Sejun gained 2 levels and reached level 193. After securing the slime meat. Clank! Sejun opened the void storage to take a look inside. He knew it was empty, but like opening the fridge for no reason, he just wanted to open it. And then, wow, why is there so much money? Seeing the tower coins and treasures piled up in the room, Sejun beamed brightly. Heh, looks like Vice Chairman Theo sold the invitations at a really high price, huh? Well, of course. To eat the food made by me, Park Sejun, the Black Tower's tower farmer, this much is only natural. Sejun puffed himself up with pride. At that moment, Chwararuruk, an enormous amount of treasure poured into the void storage. Chwararuruk, and it filled up again. Why is the money still increasing? Sejun's smug expression stiffened. Something felt ominous. Chwararuruk. Even at that moment, the money kept pouring in without stopping. This was clearly strange. He didn't know how much the invitations were being sold for, but this wasn't right. Something was off. And there's no way this much money came from selling just 10,000 invitations. Sejun was sure of it. Theo, you rascal, I told you to only sell 10,000. He realized Theo was causing trouble. Aileen, please hold on to this money for me. Sejun, first of all, handed the money in the void storage over to Aileen. If he left it there, one of the 3 Park brothers would definitely burn it all away. The tower's administrator says she will personally safeguard your money so no one can touch it. Yeah, I'm counting on you. And so, Sejun entrusted the vault's money to the absolute vault, Aileen. Kyungi Blackie, let's go catch your big brother. Kyung. Kaying. They quickly set off to catch Theo, who had caused the trouble. Though, with over 100 million invitations already sold, hurrying probably wouldn't change much. And meanwhile, when is Sejunum coming? Did he go for dessert after lunch? Walgang endlessly waited for Sejun, who wasn't coming, at the entrance of the farming school.